those in Matt Tremont, and you're listening and watching to the Game Changer World fucking podcast.
And welcome to Game Changer World. Screwball, our West Coast correspondent. How you doing tonight?
Doing great as always. Just finished watching most of Dynamite here, and feels weird to be here on a Wednesday, but things happen.
Yeah, things happen. What basically happened on our end was there was that YouTube outage that happened for quite a while, and then also Twitter was giving us some problems with streaming. So it was a whole situation, and I felt terrible because we were fighting literally down to the wire. I'd opened the room up. I'm doing everything I mean everything, because I was looking forward to this. I know you and B were looking forward.
Yeah, just everything cascaded from that initial outage. Even though like YouTube was fine by then, there's still lots of weird stuff that can happen on the back end. So and it's just as well like. A lot of people still thought YouTube was down by that point, so the algo probably wasn't really going to work for us anyway.
No. And here we are again, where I was talking to you 15 minutes beforehand, going, okay, checking all my tech, making sure everything's right, nervous as heck about all of it. Reed Harris Cooper, B is at work. B is out on assignment. Actually, we may see him in an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. Maybe not. It just depends on how busy his schedule is. Dude is busy. I'm not kidding. It's constant. He does a lot of important work. So, being a teacher is important.
It wasn't even in the cards for him to be here yesterday. So
no.
That just shows you how busy his stuff's going. Best of luck to you, B.
Absolutely. Also, welcome to everyone that's come in chat tonight. There's a lot of names here, so I'm not going to go through them. I'm so sorry. I will go through my spiel real quick, though. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We read and appreciate all comments. Super chats are available if you want to donate. And a sincere thanks to Clown, who donated during our kickoff show out there in LA. That does mean a lot to us, 99% of the time. Also, he's the first listener in chat and about as nice as you can get. Question for you, Clown, since you're the guy just for a minute here. By any chance, are we going to see you at the Collective? Let us know how that goes. Casa, good to see you. Now let's call out some names. We got a little time. Reed, good to see you on here.
Asking, saying that KJ scared off B.
Yeah, I got that right here. Good to see you, Ish. All right, Warcito in the house. Fajita, always nice to see you. This Screwball guy, gotta watch out for him. I don't know. Big Capadon, we always see you checking in every week. Pete Rocks, good to see you here, man. By the way, anybody that was following the podcast for those last couple of days when we were doing the kickoff show, man, this guy right here is the one that was doing the graphic. And that was purely like everything else we ever, purely out of love. Nobody asked him, nothing. That was a surprise when it got posted. So sincerely, I told you, there in LA, I'll tell you now again.
Yeah, it was publicly. Good meeting you. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Honestly, I think that's really what's most important here. We are very thankful. You did a damn good job, dude. And yeah, man, group effort. You held up your end on that one, and it wasn't even expected you were going to do that. All right. What else do we have here? Let's go down with this next part. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. Sit down and relax. You are amongst friends. We're going deep into the night, and we do have a lot to cover. GCW was in Los Angeles, California on Saturday. And so was Game Changer World. GCW then went to Phoenix, Arizona on Sunday. B and Screwball were in attendance for that. So tonight we have 18 matches, 5 debuts, 3 title defenses, a watch along, and a kickoff show that we definitely want to talk about. I will tell you, though, up front, we're just waiting for B because he would be the one that we do the watch alongs with. Basically, my computer doesn't handle it. We've tried it 100 different ways. Frank, how you doing? I was actually hoping to say hi to him, and I felt like I missed him 100 different times at the show in LA.
It happens a lot. That's a small room, but at the same time, it's a very big room too.
Oh, absolutely. Our interview for next week, I think this is important to say up front. in the middle and somewhere on the back end of the show. Effy will be with us next Tuesday, same time as always, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m.
Of course,
Pacific.
any YouTube outages.
Yeah, hopefully none of those come. And also, Effy usually runs his 3-hour show from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And we haven't talked about how that's going. We may just be killing time for an hour. Then he slips in there in that second hour.
Figure that's a good time for a watch along. So there you go.
You know what's going to be interesting is I can't wait to ask him what match or two you would like to watch and explain, because I'm kind of curious which ones.
You know which one I want to do if I ever get to choose.
Which one?
Arquette versus Gage.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you were there. So it's one of those ones.
I could even drop some personal lore if we ever do that. But yes, if you're ever doing Arquette Gage, I'm on it. I'm calling my shot.
Okay, so we'll keep the seat warm on that one for you.
Yeah.
I think Effy versus Mance in a cage would be very interesting for him to walk us through.
Okay, Cage of Survival. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's one. I don't know what else. That's why I'm saying, I want to leave it open, because there may be something he's very proud of that we're not thinking of.
Yeah, well, you think of all 11 big gay brunches after this time, just in GCW alone. He's got definitely a catalog.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget how many matches, but he's got to be approaching around 1,000 or so.
Yeah, definitely an accomplished career, like hundreds of GCW, just in GCW alone. He's worldwide renowned, so yes, he's got a library to work with.
All right, then.
I just see someone in the chat. Raleigh, I got to touch base with a little bit at the Nile.
Whoa, good to see you, Raleigh. It's been a couple, I don't know, about 24 hours since I last talked to you. So I was telling Raleigh, the next time that Phoenix comes back, GCW comes back to Phoenix, I'm going to try to get down there. I really would like to see dude. And we're actually looking forward to seeing him at the Collective.
Yes, he did say he was going to be there while we were talking at the Nile. So, yep.
Costa's saying, let me jump in with B. You'd have to fight Brett on that one. That one's deeper than most people think there. Let's talk about that kickoff show. I think that was really fun.
I think that's a great place to really jump into. Might as well just go in chronological order.
I think that's about the best thing we can do here. Give me a second just to pull that up real quick. The first thing I want to say, I want to talk about all the people that were involved on this show, because the kickoff show was more than just 1, 2, 3 people.
Yes.
My son was running wires. Somebody brought out the table and chairs. I thanked Brett. I have no idea who was nice enough to do that. Ash, the producer that we talk about on here all the time, gave me a wire I was missing. Screwball saw me freaking out over trying to find a wire.
Yeah, and your son's like taping stuff together just to make sure everything can go.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was literally gaffing our camera because sometimes the wire on the back of the camera isn't too hot. Let's see. Brent,
Steph.
of course. So Brant, we'll go with Brant, our founder and leader. Screwball, who was heavy on the knowledge, extremely helpful, did a ton of stuff that no one knows about. Turtle, my wife, she gathered talent, and that was really, I think, the meat of the show was gathering talent.
That's really the MVP of what's going on behind the camera. Like, until you've actually seen the kickoff show in front of your eyes instead of just through the camera, like, she does so much, just making sure things happen, especially when it comes to the guests.
And pacing, making sure one comes out, then there's a breath for 5 or 6 minutes, and then the next one comes out, take another breath. Yeah, that was fantastic. Also, Effy, who helped my wife gather talent, couldn't come on because he was the surprise run-in. So, there was support there, even behind the camera. Chad Rico also helped out the wife a lot. Now, who did come on camera? Tremont, Gringo, KJ Orso, Alec Price, Manders, Lauderdale came on. Also, he's another moving piece. Thanks for giving us that opportunity, Brett. But the big piece was really listeners. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Without you guys, this show would not fly. You are literally the air under our wings, the water that we breathe. Thank you. We don't breathe water. We're not fish.
We don't have gills.
We don't have gills. Anyway, most importantly, thank you though. This was definitely a group effort on many people's levels, and they all did this for one singular cause. Yes. So I'll get back into my notes here as soon as I bring my notes up real quick. Okay, so I'll kind of give you a little bit of my rundown, and then Screwball can kind of fill in the holes that that he has also there. My Krule rolled in like 4:15. The weather was nice. I was tracking it for the last few days. I was under the weather, slept in cold air, so I was really watching if it was going to rain or not. Like I said, tables and chairs were there. Thanks to whomever did that. I went in, said hi to everyone, met a couple new people. Everyone is cool with this. Boy, are we thankful for that. Luckily, people see through that it's all about love. We do try hard. So I get outside. My son, wife, both had a good chunk of the setup together. Thank goodness. Then I was missing that headphone cord.
And that's kind of right when I came in, was like 15-ish.
Oh
like
yeah,
15.
you were seeing me. I'm like, oh shit. I need this. Yeah. I'm a worrier. And so I was scrambling like crazy. I usually counter that nervousness with over preparation. If anyone's ever seen my notes, they'll know what over preparation looks like. Luckily, Ash had what I was looking for. We had the UCC internet this time, no Wi-Fi hotspot off of my phone.
Nice.
That allowed us to broadcast in 1080 instead of 720. So felt like we were at least in the 2020s instead of the 20.
Plus, we had a camera stand, so there was actually room for 3 of us this time.
If we didn't have that camera stand, it would have made the show way more difficult, I think, just because we would have been like squeezing in a little too much.
Yeah, I think it's just like you would have had to go to the side. I would have went to the side I ended up going to, and it just would have been B on the camera like the whole time with the guest.
and that's okay too. I mean, I don't know how many interviews he's really had a chance to give. I know that KJ interview really did him in a little.
Well, yeah, it's kind of similar how I felt with Atticus.
Yeah. But again, I mean, it's different when they're sitting there talking to you. It's a whole other ballgame.
Especially like Atticus, like when he's in the zone. Like after the show, he's cool as fuck. Like I can attest to that after this weekend, and it's not the first time I've crossed paths with him. But when he's in the zone, when he's in a character, it was real for a moment.
Okay, some other things. There are a few oversights, but we're not professionals and still figuring everything out. I forgot to take my name. Where are we at here? Right there. I forgot to take my name off the bottom of the screen. So the entire show, it just said John Wolf, GC World. You're
probably the only person that actually cared about that though. So you're good.
That's the worrier. Brant's shorter than me, and I ended up getting the taller chair to sit in. Another oversight we didn't think about at all. I tripped on my thoughts a few times. That was always fun. Our outro video was, what's that?
It's live TV. What are you gonna do?
Right. And I don't think people understand really how hard it is.
Oh yeah.
Really. Our outro video was an Atticus promo instead of the usual video. B pointed it out, and I'm just like, fuck it. I hit the other button, screw it. It's live. But without B's thinking also, I would have forgot to end the stream, and you guys would have just seen us tearing shit apart, I guess, for the next couple minutes.
Yeah, it's like I'm getting out of there to get to the show, and we're just tearing stuff up on camera. That'd be amazing.
But let's go with this. The show started. We hadn't lined up a single guest. Screwball, you can attest to that. We didn't have anyone. That's a little nerve-wracking also. But of course, the wife, like last time, starts going around asking wrestlers, if they'd like to come on, talk for a few minutes. 10 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever you have is fine. She's spacing them out, spreads them over the show's first hour. Again, I'm just kind of repeating myself, but I want to go through the story. She was speaking with Effy, but he couldn't come on. He was a surprise run-in, so he also helped her get guests. Chad Rico was also going around. That's how we got Tremont. But let's see, people were walking in the building, waving and saying hi to us. I want to say thank you for doing that. It's like seeing a friend you haven't seen in a while. So yeah, if you see us over there broadcasting, freaking wave, say hi. It's so friendly and we love it. But to those who said something positive after the show, either online here on Twitter or to us, to our face, seriously, thank you so much.
Yes, I had a couple people myself that were like complimenting the show during the show. Like I was sitting right at one of the ends of the rows, and I know a couple of our listeners were saying, "Hey, we love the stuff you're doing," so it's appreciated.
Oh, it's totally appreciated. We literally live on that love. Frank, yep. You guys, yeah. I will not be at the next LA show, but I will be at Collective. It's just like it's a lot of money. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's a 2-week turnaround. I have to work that weekend. B also said he can't do it, so maybe we might do like a similar to this before the show. Who knows? It's not decided at this point, but I'm sure you'll get some content from us live at the Collective.
Yes, there is a lot of talk. There's going to be some live work at the Collective. Maybe WrestleCon and some other things. We're going to find out. Fingers crossed. See if it's allowed. We'll go from there. Eddie Davila said, hi, sorry I'm late. What did I miss? We were just talking about that kickoff show that happened earlier. Nothing big here. Just giving everybody a little rundown of the fact that it's a group effort and there's a lot of stress involved, but we still get it done. Luckily, we're not drinkers. So you think we should go ahead and just bounce into that GCW, the coldest winter?
That sounds like a good time to me.
It sounds like a party now. All right. So, GCW, the coldest winter 4. This was from the UCC in Los Angeles, California. This was GCW's 39th trip to LA. That was a lot of counting, by the way. I don't know if you remember, but there was a couple times they went there for like 6, 7, 8, 9 shows. What was it? 3, 4 years ago?
Yep. And they were all sellouts.
Yeah. And I can't remember how many shows GCW's had total. I think it was 50 plus, but they've only come out 39 times once I counted the trips themselves.
Yeah. Collective was like 10 or 11 shows itself in LA a few years ago. So that'll inflate the total count. But yes, 39 trips is quite the impressive feat for a New Jersey based independent wrestling company.
Yeah. And I also want to shout out commentary for a minute. We had MLJ, John Mosley, Jordan Castle, and Righteous Reg. I want to give a special shout out to Jordan Castle, who has really been hitting his stride lately. I'm not kidding. This LA show, especially, he shined. The only reason I'm saying this is because I like to listen to the audio form of the broadcast on the way home in the car. It kind of kills that 4.5 hour drive pretty nicely. And Jordan's on freaking fire on that microphone. And that's nothing against anyone else. I'm just saying he sounds professional now, and sharp mind too. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and I don't think he got any of the matches this weekend, but Ethan Lawmaster was also in attendance for both shows. So if someone had been able to make it, like they could have easily pulled him, and the commentary would not have suffered in the slightest.
Right here, Mose and Jordan really gelled. 100% agreed. Mose killed it too.
I don't know how many shows they would have had the chance to do together, so that's impressive.
I never thought of that. Yeah, they're on different ends.
A Southeast guy, Jordan being West Coast, mostly based with a little bit of East Coast. He's originally from like the Northeast, but most of his commentary has been in the LA area.
All right, well, let's move into the next section here. The show opens. LA is ready. Emil's in the ring and welcomes us to GCW. If anybody saw a big old flag holding up, I ran up there. Emil told me, get up here. So I just went up with the flag. Normally that wouldn't have been me, but I was encouraged. I didn't take a single picture that night either. Just was totally in the moment. Also, I'll kind of say it. I didn't feel like it was the usual bigger crowd. I think that's because it ran on 4th of July. It ran on Valentine's Day.
Live TV, yep. But yes, I do think Brett had said something about it, maybe on one of the Patreon podcasts, that maybe running Valentine's Day wasn't the greatest idea, but at the same time, it was a holiday weekend, so I understand the logic. And it being President's Day weekend is what allowed me to take the second show on Sunday night, so can't fault them for thinking it.
And then there were some announcements. I'm actually trying to get into them here for just a little bit.
Big announcement for New Japan today. Takeda.
Yeah, I was looking at that one earlier too. I forget how they announced him, but how did they say it?
Well, it was crazy. Yeah. It's like they used a few of his monikers in the teaser, and it's like you knew who it was going to be.
Yeah. Clown says your wife takes better pictures anyway. Keep your, I think I'm just old or some shit. I just get into it. Plus, I feel weird going, "Can I take your picture?" I'm terrible with that. I don't know why.
A great man used to say, "Take the picture."
And that person would be correct.
Yes, and that is, of course, the late SPO.
Right there, bucket list one for me. Also, Takeda, Jun Kasai, huge on the bucket list. I don't know when we'll ever see that newer Hayabusa unless it's right here in Collective. I'll take that. What about you? Have you ever seen Kasai or Takeda before?
I don't think I've seen either of them live. I've just never been able to make it out to AC, and that's where the predominance of a lot of their appearances would be. So, maybe I'm going to be everywhere this that Collective weekend, so maybe I'll get the chance.
I'm one of those guys where generally towards the last day or two, I'm ready to turn off my phone and hide from the world. Like really, you can just get so much, and then you're like, okay, I did my thing. Time to shut her in for a while.
It happens, but at the same time, it seems like a lot of those like late in the show weekends are actually where I take some of my favorite photos. So who knows?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Though that's when the crowds are a little less.
Yeah, and also like Effy's Big Gay Brunch is always the Saturday, so and that's kind of like a lot of the talent that I know I'm only going to get to see that I really want to see are on that show.
Brandon had a question here. Said, any word on Matt? Matt's injured. That's literally what I was given directly from Brett. I do not have a return. I mean, I wish I had more, and I wasn't thrilled with it, but that's what I was told. He just said Matt's injured, and
yeah, when they're ready to say something, they will say something.
But and that's coming
from
from
our business otherwise, to be honest.
Correct. Yeah, and that's one of those things where Matt didn't share and Brett isn't sharing more than he's injured. So I'll respect that for now, especially since it's Matt's personal situation, and we'll go from there. As soon as something does come out, though, we'll share it on here, or I'll retweet it on Twitter so everybody does get a chance to see it if they do follow us over there. All right, then, match one. Let's just roll through that. It was a three-way match: Vipress versus Brittany Brooks versus Shotzi Blackheart. How about I go from your side first? Screwball, do you want to give me your thoughts on this one, or do you want me to go through? How do you prefer?
I'll let you start this one, and I'll fill in the blanks.
I kind of felt like this will jog your memory just a little.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. Like I've had a rough day myself too, so it's like I kind of gotta get in the groove a little bit as far as to getting the memory going.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'll just say this now too, for everybody else who's trying to de-stress and is having a rough day, I'm with you, bud.
For some reason I got a little bit of like a tiredness kind of got me right as we're getting to the show. So, but whatever. Gotcha. As we get on, I'll get a second win. So,
I'll wake you if you start snoring.
Yeah.
All right, on to this match here. The match opened with Vipress holding a Valentine's Day gift. She says there is someone in the ring that she wants as her Valentine. She snubs Brittany, that she didn't take that very well, and offers her Valentine to Shotzi. Every damn time. Brittany slaps it out of Shotzi's hand, and off we go. They had a good opening series of near falls. Brittany was taking the brunt of the offense throughout the match without getting much of her own offense in. She really also acknowledged the fans and irritated them throughout the match. Great work with the crowd. Brittany was riding Viper's bike, which we found out is named Selena. Did you know
we also found out that Brittany Brooks never learned how to ride a bike, and I'm actually with her on that. But
I found out about that too.
Yeah, so and it's like it's so obvious looking back at the footage, the way she's kind of just trying to move her torso forward, which isn't going to help you riding a bike.
Oh man, yeah, that was funny. I was wondering what was going on there. Then she posted online, "I told you I couldn't ride a bike." I'm like, oh well. So yeah, Vipers clotheslined Brittany off of Selena, and then once Brittany was still on the ground, Vipers ran Selena into her, and it was funny. But the fans seemed to care more about the bike than they did about Brittany. Shotzi broke up.
A prop is over. See Shotzi in the tank.
That's a good way to put it.
In fact, we need to get a face off at some point.
I'm in.
Yeah, maybe in the April UCC show we get Vipress and Selena versus Shotzi in the tank in a tag team match.
We have Sandman versus Invisible Man. Anything can happen in the wrestling world. So Shotzi broke up a Vipress pin attempt around the 5-minute mark, and the love between those two were completely dissolved. It was very obvious that Shotzi loved winning more than she loved Vipress. Vipress with a textbook perfect power bomb on Brittany goes for the pin, instead eats a running knee from Shotzi. Finish. Shotzi goes for the pin on Brittany. Vipress breaks it up, delivers a spike pile driver, and covers for 3. So here we are with one hell of an opening. Vipress is our winner. Now, looking back, the match flipped from a true traditional 3-way to a 2-on-1, then back to a 3-way. I want to ask you, I think you were saying that, did you say that Shotzi or Vipress was going to get more fan love here? Do you remember?
Well, I don't really necessarily pick between the two, but we did know going in that Brittany Brooks would definitely be the antagonist of the match.
Yeah.
Given her recent trajectory in other indies, she's definitely riding hard with the heel center of attention gimmick. So I do think we kind of concluded that Vipress would have a little bit of the home field advantage, but at the same time, like, this is basically 3 different variations of what's called the West Coast. Shotzi kind of came up in the NorCal scene. Of course, Vipress is the hometown LA woman, and Brittany Brooks kind of came up in Arizona, currently repping Vegas on the big stage. So, but either way, like, Brittany was clearly going to be the heel, and the other two were going to be the popular faces.
Oh yeah. Well, I felt like it was a great opener, and it was no better way to make the LA fans happier and having one of their own pick up a win in their own backyard.
The only thing that might have been a little bit jarring is we really didn't get to see Deathmatch Vipress this time, but looks like AC is about to get their taste of Deathmatch Vipress.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I think Chico just said it here too, that Vipress runs the West. That's what I like to say. Like, LA is Vipress territory.
Yeah, fitting that she got the win. Maybe if it happened, if they'd maybe done a singles match, we could have gotten a little bit more depth, and maybe it would have called for being later in the show. But for what it was, I think this was the perfect match to open the show.
Clown says, love Jordan mentioning Shotzi and Vipress hood slam ties.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's that NorCal influence right there with Shotzi.
Yeah, and he wouldn't have known it without it being someone like Jordan, West Coast. So right here, Reed said, if more fans knew who Brittany dated, she'd be less of a heel, I think, or it'd be very hard for her to be one. Yes, you know exactly who she dates.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, let her have her career. She doesn't need to be tied to just being Chris Bay's girlfriend. She's got an identity all of her own, and she deserves the chance to shine outside of it, even though she is a very important part to what Chris is calling the greatest story ever told.
Heart of gold, both of them.
Yep.
I think that's the one thing I've learned from all these shows that we've seen them at, had a chance to say hi. Both of them have a heart of gold. I want to see them both succeed as much as possible.
Oh, look at Carnival Chaos in our chat, giving us 14 Canadian buckaroos.
Well, thank you so much, Carnival. It's good to see you this week. Yeah, I'm terrible at this. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Every little bit does count. It's what we have. So thank you so much for that. Is there anything else you want to say about that 3-way before we move on?
I think I've gotten everything I need to say. We talked about the bike spot. We talked about Brittany's heel work. And we got to kind of sneak in the illusion of the John Wayne Murdoch match and coming in AC.
Thank you so much. That's appreciated. It really is. I'll let Brant know later, or maybe we don't, and then the money goes for our coffees.
Yeah, I could use one right now.
We'll have to cut that out in post-production. Okay. There is no post-production. Okay, so our second match tonight will be Joey Janela versus Chris Masters. Welcome to GCW Chris Masters, a West Coast staple, 43 years old, 24 years in wrestling, a 21-time champion, and the current UKWA Tag Team Champion. Same thing, Screwball and I, we've seen him at FSW quite a few times. He is a beefy boy. I'll just move on there until we get to talk about him later, or do you have anything you want to say about him here?
I mean, yeah, he's as big as he looks. Like he put the master lock on after one of those FSW shows, and I mean he knows I'm not talent, but at the same time, like, he's definitely got a grip, even if he's not laying it in.
Oh, I'll tell you what. And so I was talking with my dude who we went to the show with, and we're just like, that dude is freaking massive. It's like Effy where he's deceptively tall. Chris Masters, he's muscle, and he's been doing this since he was a baby. But man, when he walks up to you is when you realize
Yeah, he
his
walked up
back
to our
is,
table before the show, checking in, making sure everyone knew he got there safe. And it's like, yeah, this guy's huge.
yeah, and again, I'm 6'2", 6'3", and like 265, so I'm not a small guy, and I'm like, damn. Yeah, that was my Ron Simmons. AEW King, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We were talking about you last week. We were talking about some advice and whatnot. Check your messages. I did send to you. If you haven't seen them, I sent them through Twitter. So check those out if you get a chance. I just sent some helpful advice that I think works for us. I also think it's very universal. Be nice, be kind.
Yeah, what you
Understand that
posted
people are
doesn't
sensitive.
just apply to podcasts. That's everyday life advice
Yeah.
in there with the podcast stuff.
And I truly feel that if you follow some of those rules and add your own that happen to fit you and your morality well, people will see if you're what's a good word for it? If you're genuine.
Yep.
They'll be able to see that. Either you like it or you don't, and it will come through. And you're either an asshole or you don't, and that'll come through. It is what it is. But yeah, hit me up back later if you have any questions or whatnot. I'm not Mr. Wonderful. I just know how we do it. So there is 100 million ways to do this. I could just tell you, get some structure and whatnot. You'll see some messages in there. Okay, so Joey came out second. He acknowledged a kid with a sign that says, "Can't wait for spring break." I love when talent give kids the attention. That can sometimes make fans for life. I say that all the time. This match here was a more classic WWE style wrestling match with a few indie elements like fighting around the ringside.
Yeah, aka the Joey Janela special. This is the kind of match that brought him to the dance and brought spring break to the dance.
This really felt like it was, I don't know, I would say 80% Chris Masters, 20% Joey Janela touch in there.
Yep, he's here to give the old guys, the rub and make sure that they know that they're still relevant. This would have easily been in place on like Spring Break 2 or Spring Break 1.
Good point. Now, once they got back to the ring, Joey has already thrown in some doors and chairs. Joey reversed an attempted master lock into a German suplex. Masters turns Joey inside out with a clothesline and picks up Joey for another master lock attempt. Joey pushes both of them through a door propped in the corner.
Hey, he broke the master lock. Very few can say they've done that.
We saw a couple interesting things this night. That's the first one. KJ whooping on ELP. That's another one too.
We'll get to that.
About. Yeah. Masters gets powerbombed through chairs. Huge GCW chance. Joey goes up top again. Masters hits an avalanche butterfly suplex. So that was actually the third butterfly suplex of the match on Joey. Once from standing position, once in the corner, and once avalanche style. I really liked how that story was sneakily in there. Joey hit double cutters back to back, and I'd actually like to see him stick with that move. I thought that was a really cool setup. Did you see that one by any chance,
Yep.
Screwball? I loved it. Our finish here, a door was placed on Masters. Joey goes up top, hits the double stomp, and covers for 3. In a little under 16 minutes here, our winner was Joey Janela. I wrote that it was a classic, solid number 2 wrestling match and felt like a nice blend of styles.
Yeah, it's just a reminder. It's like someone in the chat here said it. Fajita Cologne. Yeah, Chris looked huge next to Joey, and I mean the average size of an independent wrestler has gotten smaller, but Joey's not the smallest guy in the indies either. So yeah, Chris looked as big as he is.
I would say that Joey's actually a good average.
Yeah,
when it comes to
he's
indie
probably
wrestling.
a good baseline average as far as like size goes. So the fact that Chris looks huge, that means he's huge.
And Reed said this match maybe made me kind of curious on who Joey faced at spring break. It's not Hayabusa based on teases.
Well, there's someone that Joey was teasing a huge match is coming for this week, and that was Shotzi Blackheart. Despite what you can say about her win-loss record, she always brings in a great performance every time. So I am very excited to see who she draws at spring break too.
And yeah, Big Capadon saying Joey is the perfect modern wrestling size. Now, was there anything else you wanted to mention on this Janela Masters match?
I'm just glad that, I mentioned that Joey is one of the very few people that's ever broken the master lock. It doesn't matter how he did it. He can now put himself in the same category as someone like Bobby Lashley.
All right. Let's move on to our next step here. Our next match was KJ Orso versus El Phantasmo. 1 second short of an 18-minute match. KJ comes out first, and I want to step back and look at what he's doing for a minute. His promos, his in-ring work, how he is with the fans, Emil and B. I feel like that man has figured himself out. He has confident in what he's doing, comfortable enough to use his creativity in any way he sees fit, and it's working.
Yeah, like I don't know if this was very apparent when he was roasting B on the pre-show. Everyone in the vicinity was bursting out laughing when he started making lotion jokes.
Dude, I was actually turning down some of the things so the laughs wouldn't come in too hard, but no, that wasn't that part. You're right. Yeah, that just flew. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that.
But yeah, so everyone in the vicinity, myself, I think Steph was there. I know Alec Price was kind of like in the back end trying to get under KJ's skin. Like if you heard a quote unquote fan yelling about how he broke the heart of his boy, that was actually Alec.
Yeah, Alec was back there just fucking with him the whole time. And KJ acknowledged him just for a minute, so I'll give him that much. KJ flipping off the kid. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Chat, I was a few feet away from B, and I can confirm that B was cheering for KJ to lose. Those two have a fun little rivalry, and as a fan, you know what I mean? You're messing with a wrestler.
You kind of love to see it, but there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened in this match.
Oh, man. Okay, so I want to finish up that little statement on KJ here. So looking back, I have a feeling that fans will see how KJ came into GCW like 1996 Rocky Maivia and left 1998's The Rock. Just more polished in all ways. I'm not saying we're getting The Rock. I'm just saying we see one all smiles coming in, a certain way. And then it's almost like once they rip the Band-Aid off and let him be himself, what he really portrayed was just it was an upgrade.
Yeah, I think there's a big conversation that as far as like the wrestling aspect goes, he was GCW Performer of the Year in 2025, and he's carrying that into 2026 thus far.
And, Ishmael was really watching that. Yeah, B didn't get his wish. ELP didn't scratch KJ's back at all. Sorry there.
He got everything else, though.
Oh, yeah. By the way, we'll get into it. That was the first time I'd see him. We'll talk about that one soon. I loved him. So with KJ, his in-ring work is at the top of the GCW talent pool. What he's doing will be looked at years from now as a quality portion of GCW's content in this era. So welcome to GCW El Phantasmo. The former Bullet Club member has 20 years in professional wrestling. He's also a 14-time champion and the current 2-time NJPW World Television Champion, 294 days and running. In the most recent PWI 500 rankings, El Phantasmo ranked number 91. And after what we saw this weekend, you can agree he can come back anytime, right?
Yes, I got to tell him so after, as I was kind of waiting for the main event to start for this show. And yeah, like I definitely want to see more El Phantasmo in GCW. Hopefully, I know the big problem is him being a New Japan guy. The schedules aren't always going to align. Hopefully, maybe we can get him in an AC a weekend or something. But yes, definitely more El Phantasmo after this weekend in GCW, please.
I'm a fan. It did not take much. And then we'll talk about Arizona, but that sealed the deal when he was in Arizona. So the bell rings. KJ's yelling at the crowd. Crowd's yelling back. ELP comes to the center to shake hands. KJ is a no-go and flips him off. That's when ELP shakes referee Scarlett Donovan's hand, and KJ is on Donovan about not being fully down the middle. ELP chants disrupt KJ's rhythm. You could see KJ mocked ELP a lot. KJ standing on a seat in the crowd. This is one of my favorite moments. He asks for a drink. A fan gives him one, and KJ spits it on the guy. Well, whoever that person was did not like that, and then chucks their drink at KJ. KJ throws his drink at the fan. I felt like that was a real organic GCW moment. Like it's wild.
I was in the thick of that spot. Like my
were
seat
you?
was right behind KJ. I was actually lucky I did not get any on me. But yes, like I thought things were going to get real there for a second. Like I would not have been surprised to see that KJ actually strike the dude. But luckily, it did not come to that point. But it did feel like it was going to be there for a hot second.
You know, though, that felt GCW. Like neither
Yep.
the fans or the wrestlers are going to be pushed. Like you pull that shit, we're gonna put. It was a nice give and take. I'll be honest with you. It was like watching two brothers slug each other like in the arm, just bam, bam. I don't know.
Yeah,
It just felt like that.
it didn't get anywhere to the point where it felt like anyone had to be tossed out of the building.
Nope.
But at the same time, like there was definitely an intensity there, and El Phantasmo ended up playing off of it really well.
Yeah. ELP yells out he'll buy a fan the drink after on his tab, and I think that helped a little bit. And then I'll kind of jump ahead and just say after he went into the crowd and had a drink with the guy, that pretty much neutralized the situation, and it just made ELP even more of a face.
Yeah, everyone loved to see the story kind of get resolved at the end. So yes,
Ishmael saying KJ should have struck the fans. The fans should have been escorted. You're a hard ass, Ishmael. It's because it's KJ.
yeah, he's copping for his dude. Yep.
I you know what though? Every week in, week out, Ishmael is all about KJ. I gotta respect that. The air that ELP got on his springboard to the outside went out of camera frame. Yes. Man, this guy is one that I think, yeah. I would say just have him and KJ run it back, but I could see where he could make a lot of people's matches better.
Yeah, I kind of want to see, like, as much as that rematch would rule, I definitely want to see, maybe, for example, the Joey Janela match that was originally scheduled for Arizona needs to happen. And, maybe him against Teriyaki would be a kind of a show stealer.
Oh, actually, that's the kind of match Teriyaki could use, honestly. He's in that GCW's pushing him mode right now a little.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's not at the point where he's getting the airline tickets to LA either. So like a match like that could kind of push him into that category.
Him and KJ would also be a nice little run through. I don't know have we seen Teriyaki and KJ recently?
Yes, we did. We at the J-Cup.
Wow, John. No lie.
Yes, I like Fajita Cologne thinking Vengador would be a very great matchup.
On it. That
Gringo Loco.
Ooh, there's a lot to talk about. I'm holding my tongue until we go through these. Okay, back to this match here. Both are back in the ring. There was a fun spot where KJ rubbed his hand in his pants and then went to attack ELP with it, and it was turned around. KJ got his hand rubbed in his face. That was a great spot. ELP did his version of Action Mike Jackson's walk around the ropes. Also, congratulations to Mike. He was on, I believe, was TNA wrestling.
Yes, it was TNA. He wrestled our boy Mance Warner.
And broke the record for the oldest wrestler, I believe, to wrestle on TV, or the oldest active professional wrestler. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I didn't check the exact stat either, but yes, the fact that Action Mike Jackson's still going, what an incredible feat. The fact that he could even be at Spring Break this year, much less after being a part of it last year. There's all sorts of matches that we could have with Mike Jackson and in GCW, notwithstanding his run a few years ago.
What will it take to get early morning guy Steel to the collective? What would it take? I have to ask.
We've had him in Vegas before.
Yeah, damn near died. Made it out alive. Can't get any worse than that one. Oh boy. Okay, so our finish here. KJ pulled a total dick move, literally, and punched ELP in the dick when Scarlett wasn't looking, rolled him up, held the tights, and got the 3 count. Our winner here was KJ Orso. Just a quick follow-up. KJ Orso just beat the 2-time NJPW World TV champion.
That's right.
That should have been a huge headline and win for both KJ and ELP. Thanks to ELP for being selfless in this scenario. Last thing
maybe the rematch shouldn't happen in GCW. Maybe it should happen in New Japan, and maybe ELP needs to defend the title.
For KJ Orso's sake, I would love to see him do NJPW and get some work over there. Absolutely. The more the merrier is what I'm looking at it as.
Oh,
Get that
speak of the
money.
devil. Speak of the devil here.
Oh no. He said, I'm on another level, proving myself right and also proving B wrong. 2026 will be my year.
Well, you got to give him credit. He got the win. So, he kind of has a right to gloat right now.
Well, I'll tell you this much: with all the change and everything that's happened, 2025 may have also been his year too. You know, it's not just about that final; it's about the growth that went into it. So, let's see here. I wrote here this is an excellent pairing for a wrestling match, and it picks up the pace and excitement levels after having that more traditional Janela match that we just had for number 2. Also, fans were chanting, "Please come back for ELP." I'm gonna echo that.
Yep, I was certainly among those chanting it that night and chanting it the next night.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else about this KJ Orso ELP match before we move on?
I think we covered it. That drink spot still is going to be rented. It's going to be running space in my mind for a long time.
Dude, from where I'm looking at it across across the venue, all I'm seeing is fucking drinks fly. You know what I mean? So
I was ducking for cover.
Oh man, dude, it looks so good because you're just seeing shit flying. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And then honestly, KJ handled it right. We didn't need Baruso down there. We didn't need all that situation.
Yeah, instead we got a moment that will actually live in time. So good on you. And I see, KJ's got some thoughts on that.
I'm not going to lie, though. That is a memorable moment. Have we had another one like that? You know what I mean?
In a minute, that's for sure.
Exactly. So without even trying, created another moment. Boom.
Yeah, maybe the last time was some of those Mance Warner entrances during his heel run.
Also, Fuego, just letting you know that we might have B on here later tonight. He's doing a couple of things, so check in or hang in.
I would be careful. You did say the F word.
That's well. All right, moving on. One called Manders versus Hammerstone. Again, 1 second shy of 15 minutes long. I wrote here, it was good to see Hammerstone back in a GCW ring. Last seen with us was almost a year ago. That was last May when he took on Effy for the GCW World Championship. Manders is out in his silver gear, looking like a champ. Chops were flying back and forth throughout the match. Sitting front row for this match was fun because I got to watch real strength in action. Watching a man pick up almost 300 pounds, rotated in front of him, lift it above his head, and then slam it to the mat was absolutely awesome. I don't have another way to put it. It's always nice to get ringside for matches like that. Hammerstone got slammed on the floor and the camera caught it perfectly. Maybe it was luck, maybe it was on purpose, but it looked good. I'm also noticing more wrestlers are working into the camera. Good job, guys. Keeping it short, this was beefy, and it's worth seeing if you want to see like amazing feats of strength. Hammerstone was our heel. There was a superplex that made one of the loudest ring noises I've ever heard. You know exactly what I'm talking about too, right?
Yeah, that was a loud crash.
I watch slap fighting. When there's a perfect slap, it makes this cracking sound, and it feels like that was the perfect slap on the just perfect hit. I don't know how many I've heard that loud, especially for just two men. All right, so let's move on to our finish. Despite all odds, Manders finishes Hammerstone with his huge lariat and covers for 3. Our winner in this one called Manders. I put down here, this is one of the bigger and better big man matches you'll see this year at GCW. I ask everyone that's kind of into those meaty matches, definitely check it out once. And I'm kind of hoping this isn't the only time that we see these two clash. Maybe one more time again isn't terrible. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the finish was very interesting with Manders having to use multiple lariats to finally get the even bigger dude down. Certainly Hammerstone had an interesting weekend. The way his two matches kind of contrasted each other in many different ways. Had the bigger opponent on Saturday, had the smaller opponent Sunday, was the heel on Saturday, was big time babyface Sunday. Both matches were rematches from years past in different promotions, and they kind of went the opposite of the way the initial match went for both matches.
Good pointing that out too. I didn't even think about that, the dichotomy there between those two different ones. Huh.
Kind of the way you wanted to handle kind of a guest star coming into the promotion. I think ELP's matches worked very similarly, but not quite as many parallels. But just it's nice to see these kind of these guest stars get our best and kind of work interweaving stories.
Well, I like how you mentioned it's like face one and heel the other. What's nice about that when you're bringing in someone is you get to see both sides of their work. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing the full catalog of the individual.
Yeah, definitely could use more Hammerstone back in GCW. There's not a whole lot of guys like him, so when he's here, there's something different that we don't generally see on most other shows.
So is there anything else you wanted to mention in this one before we move on to that 6-man tag team?
I think we're ready to move on to the 6-man.
All righty. So for that 6-man, we had Bustah, Brain, and Miggy Rose filling in for Starboy Charlie versus Gringo Loco, Rey Horus, and Vengador. Welcome to GCW, Miggy Rose, 10-year veteran, 10 championships to his name. He was filling in for Starboy Charlie, as I just stated earlier. I feel like he didn't fit in this match, and that's no disrespect. I actually would have preferred him in a scramble. I'm thinking here. We'll see how what everybody says.
Yeah, I think he was definitely at least a better fit for the Buster and the Brain team. It's probably best that it was someone on that team that he had to fill in for, as opposed to if any of the luchadors had to drop off. So at least between the two teams, this was the better fit for Miggy.
So I also wanted to let you know, dude, that those trunks, the brown, gold, blue gear looked awesome. And I like that they gave Alec his trunks instead of the full pants like Jordan has. I feel like it gives it a little bit of individualism, but still keeps them tight as a team.
Yep, and I will actually point out here, this is not the first time we've actually seen Miggy Rose in the Ukrainian Cultural Center, though this was his GCW debut a couple of years ago in the Charles Mason, Richard Holiday feud. Miggy kind of played a little bit of a cameo at one of the UCC dates that kind of encompassed that feud, if you remember that.
Sorry, her. Vengador with an excellent cutter. They both work well together. Rey and Jordan also had a good pairing. There was a point where all three luchadors were chopping Miggy. Welcome to GCW, buddy.
Vengador, that was the initiation.
That was pretty much what that was. And it looked like it hurt a little. When you hear that thump in the chest, that bump sound in the chest, you know you've hit him pretty deep. Let's see here. I also loved Alec pulling out his 720 DDT on Gringo. I haven't gotten tired of that move just yet. It looks good.
I don't think you can get tired of a move that impressive.
So then I said but I had my microphone muted here. I was agreeing with you, I swear.
Yeah.
Our finish here, Bustah, Brain, and Miggy finish Rey Horus with an avalanche acid bomb. Our winner, Bustah, Brain, and Miggy Rose.
I guess that's their team name. Yeah, Bustah.
Bustah and the Brain. No, yeah, I think this was a good match. I felt like adding Miggy at the last minute may have created some issues. I felt like for the first minute or two of this match, there was a little confusion on who was going to match up with who. And I felt like I was seeing the luchadors kind of arguing over who matched up with who. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I just felt like he may have very well been a late addition. And I felt like they didn't have as much time as they wanted to for planning.
Yeah, that stuff happens sometimes, but you know, at the same time, though, as someone that has seen a little bit of Miggy Rose in the past, we've seen him out a few times in Vegas for Pride style dates. I was happy for him to get a big break. I know this is something he's worked at for a while, so congratulations and welcome to GCW, Miggy Rose.
And bring him back, throw him in a scramble, see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely would love to see more of those do or die opportunities. This was probably one for him that he found himself in. I think he did well enough.
All right, then let's keep rolling here. Our match for the GCW World Championship, we had Atticus versus Allie Katch. This is weird. 1 second under 18 minutes. We had a lot of these matches that were like 1 second under. Okay. This was our first time seeing Allie active in a GCW ring since her injury over a year ago at the Hammerstone show. Now, this is something we need to talk about a little bit, Screwball. I want to talk about the split between the crowd. I felt like I saw two different philosophies of GCW fan: the Atticus deathmatch GCW fan and the Allie GCW fan. You could actually tell by the cheers and reactions.
Mhm.
Did you notice that also, that there was a little bit of a split?
I will say this, there was a bigger split in Arizona that I'll be talking about a little bit later when it comes to Effy
Oh,
and Manders. But yes, definitely present here too. Atticus, maybe a heel on paper, or listening to that one vignette a while back about him not being a face or a heel. That kind of rung true here. He's definitely got his contingent of followers that will stick with him no matter what. Allie also has a very loyal fan base, so definitely people felt their way about whoever they were supporting in this match.
yeah, it was obvious. Let's see here real quick. AEW King said, "Thank you so much." Oh yes, not a problem. Anybody who asks for help, we trying to do our best. So there's an important crossroads that's coming up where we'll actually see which GCW is going forward. I love Allie, but I want to see the Cogar style or storyline kind of play out more. And again, no disrespect, because quote me, Allie's time is overdue as a
Oh,
champion.
long overdue.
Or long overdue, earned, should have had it a long time ago. And even when she was, let's just say, set up to win that in early 2025, I still say that was still 2 years late. And Allie was popping off well before Slamovich was popping off. And I remember being mad because I'm like, that JCW should have went to Masha. And there was a time where the GCW should have went to Allie. I went to bat a couple times for Allie because I felt like she's really been a workhorse over at GCW and just hasn't got those kudos yet. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I don't know if Hammerstein was either it was even going to be her time either. I do feel like even if she had gotten the title, it would have probably eventually went to Effy anyway. Probably at Spring Break, or excuse me, at Big A Brunch instead of the Sheik match. I feel like that was kind of the backup plan. If Allie had won the title in Hammerstein, I think she would have just ended up dropping it to Effy at Spring Break anyway. So it'd be kind of
Yeah.
interesting to see where we go here. If she's able to get the title this year, or if it's going to be kind of another case of someone else is going to see it. Who knows? Right now, I think the Cogars are the hot hand, so I don't even know if
Mhm.
I want to see him lose the title anytime soon. But at the same time, like, I do want to see Allie get her flowers too.
You and I are dead on the same. I think you said it better than me.
And I
But
do think there's another option here that we might be overlooking.
what's
Someone's
that?
got a brass ring that I think is going to be back sooner rather than later. So I would also love to see Cole Radrick get a culmination to that journey as well.
I'm wide open for that. I miss my buddy. I miss him a lot. I keep a bedroom open just in case he's available at some time. And I mean, I'm crossing my fingers, but yeah, uh, he's greatly missed. Absolutely.
Yes, lots
Bat
of people that do need their time in the sun, but right now it's Atticus's, and I think he's making the most of it.
Yeah. Ishmael said, why does Effie keep helping Atticus retain the title? Like, let someone have the moment. That's where it's getting muddy, Ishmael, and we're going to be talking about that with Effie next week. That's where I'm really excited for that, because I have a feeling Effie's going to hash out some stuff for us. And I think fans have a lot of question, because right now things are just a touch muddy. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see
think
what
Manders
happens.
has had some interesting things to say about this in the last couple days, but in due time.
Yes, he has. Yes,
But
he
yeah, we
has.
got to get through this match first before we even think about going through that stuff.
All right, so then back to the match. I want to give Allie high credit for the amount of emotions and facial expressions she used in this match. I was ringside. I want to tell you, she showed amazing pain and struggle. I want to give her credit for that. She's damn good at that. There were a ton of skewers used on Allie. Atticus worked her repaired leg throughout the match. I think that was good psychology. Our finish here, Effie came in. He had great concern about his friend and decided before she got her leg hurt more or re-injured, he was going to throw in the towel, which he does. So much to Allie Katch's dismay, our winner in this one was Atticus. How'd you feel about this one, man?
Well, first of all, like that heel work on Atticus, literally heel work in some respects. I don't think I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen skewers to the ankle or skewers to the knee before. That one was new and definitely brutal. Yeah, that was some A plus like limb work that with the skewers and such. Like I was feeling Allie's pain. I was feeling like I wanted to throw in the towel for her. But it is interesting. I did talk about on the pre-show how I felt like if she came up short, she needs to go to the back of the line or go back to where she was at before. But the fact that the choice was ripped out of her hand, that's an interesting wrinkle to the story that may necessitate a follow-up here without her having to go back to wrestling under Carter's.
This is a wild one. I feel like we see everything going on, but we don't know why just yet. So I'm hoping we get to that why next Tuesday. I'm confused and why watch it. You know what I mean? So I'm really
Same time, I do think I have an idea of where this might be going. We'll get into that since this also ties into Manders' road to spring break and the collective.
Please tell me we see Manders.
Oh, I think we're definitely going to see Manders. What's going on right now between Effy and Manders and Allie is definitely going to be resolved sooner rather than later, potentially on that big stage in Vegas.
Absolutely. Reed said, at least we know that Allie's healed or she wouldn't take those skewers. Ishmael says, Effy is costing his friends the title. Tremont, Manders, and now Allie. And Clown says, Atticus created a new belt for a new timeline. Let that play out for a bit longer before he loses that belt.
That's right. Atticus did have a custom title belt for his defenses this weekend.
The Paisley. I like that. I actually liked it a lot.
It's quite a power move too, because now you're saying that I've spent money on my own title, hundreds of dollars, if not into the thousands. That means you really don't intend on losing that title anytime soon.
No, it takes a lot to get that stitched in there. It's expensive to find the material, the whole nine.
Yeah, this isn't exactly, he's not on a TV contract where they can have all these variants to say the TNT title on AEW. That's some real money, and that's a real investment.
It's all out of pocket. The videos, the promos, the gear, there's no GCW wardrobe putting that shit together.
Yeah, Atticus' gear game, like every time he's out there, like his gear has some sort of tie to his opponents, whether it's burning money for Charles Mason, just even putting the title on it. Yeah, there's a lot of thought into what Atticus is going is in every aspect of his presentation.
I don't know if I've told him, but I strongly feel if he stopped wrestling, he would be excellent on creative at any large company.
Yeah, there's definitely a mind there, and it's going to be interesting to see if eventually someone decides to pick him up for like for a big money contract, much like people like Jimmy Jacobs in the past.
Yeah. Reed Harris Cooper nailed this one. Allie supposedly pulled out of brunch, at least storyline wise. She pulled out.
I did see her on Instagram today post her 2 collective bookings thus far. That one and Podermania. So if she's pulled out, that's a storyline right there.
I didn't know she was on Poder also. Cool.
Yeah, she is wrestling our good friend Kaya McKenna.
Oh, nice. Now, wow, Kaya's hardly ever out here. Talk about an East Coast name.
Yes, but she always finds a way to get involved some way during Mania weekend. So, and I do know it is a big deal for Kaya to finally be actually wrestling on a collective itself.
Yeah, Kaya, I think's another one. I'm hoping we see kind of brought in somewhere at some time. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, marketable gimmick. I think, aside from the fact that I do consider her a good friend, like I think she's got a lot to give to professional wrestling on the independent scene, both as a babyface and a heel. And I'm kind of glad that at least some companies out in the Northeast, like Focus Pro, are finally giving her the ball.
Also creative, by the way.
Yes,
really
very
does
creative person. Yep,
brings a lot to the game. All right, we're gonna move on to our tag team match here. A touch shorter than I'd like, but still fun. Brothers of Funstruction are on the West Coast again versus East Coast to West Coast, CPA and Rob Shit. All
Yes,
right, here.
I'm glad that the Brothers of Funstruction listened and brought merch to the West Coast loop this weekend. Got to take a picture with them. Got to buy an 8x10. They've taken just one appearance. They've taken the West Coast loop of GCW by storm. You love to see it.
I really didn't think they'd go. I didn't think the fans would bite that hard, but they did. They really like them, and I'm happy for them.
Oh, and shout out to the Epic. He was around this weekend. Unfortunately, he is currently nursing an arm injury, so he couldn't be part of the show. But you could see him around. Definitely an interesting choice and a replacement partner for him for shit.
Very, very. But I was looking forward to seeing Epic Shit. Hopefully, we can see him back again whenever that's possible.
Yep, but also definitely got to shout out CPA. I think this weekend was low key a do or die weekend for him. And as far as the character work delivered, I think I want to see more CPA and hitting all the towns for GCW as well.
So funny thing, the way Rob was getting heat was by stopping CPA from doing all of his stuff. And that was kind of like, damn, because that's what CPA does. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll get in my notes on that one here. I love Funstruction. They played their hits and we love them all. Wife got some great pics of them. She's been sharing online. Also, if you have a chance to listen to them ringside, they're freaking hilarious. They're constantly talking and telling jokes. It's so funny.
Yeah, like watching the music between the notes with both Funstruction and CPA, like this was a great match. I almost think there could be legs to them as a trio because they, even though they're so different as characters, their style and how they kind of work their gimmicks would be a very fun mishmash. I think there's definitely more to see between CPA and the brothers.
He said, my buddy Nick did his thing. Did you ask them how hard it is to wrestle? I actually didn't talk to him. My wife did. I mean, of course, they're probably going to say difficult as hell, at least for the first couple months. And then after that's probably second nature. You know what I mean? It's like roller skating. It takes a while. And then eventually you're pretty good on them.
Yeah, I imagine once you've learned how to ride the bike, it's much easier from there.
Reed Cooper horn dogging it in the group tonight. Wait till GCW fans find out how actually sexy CPA is. Watch out.
Oh yeah, let's go girls.
Let's go girls. Okay, so CPA and shit was fun. Rob played the bad guy, usually stopping CPA for it's funny. I just said all this.
Yeah, it was like there was 3 baby faces and 1 heel in this match.
Bingo. Yeah, that was the note right there. And that's what made this kind of interesting was, yeah, it felt like three faces and a heel, and it was a tag team match. Different, lighthearted, fun. The fans enjoyed it, though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was perfect for where it was on the card. After the big roller coaster of emotion with Effy and Allie and Atticus, we needed something to bring the room back into it, and this was a perfect time to have this comedy match. Like,
I'll echo you. Right before shit goes crazy, we got that Krule Tremont.
Shit goes crazy.
Otis Ciclope. Yeah, Brothers of Funstruction, CPA right there is fantastic. What did they
made it funny though? You said
Spreadsheet.
Shit goes crazy.
Or Spreadshit. Yeah, shit goes crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I feel like Rob is now becoming a thing in LA. It's kind of, you know,
he's been a thing in LA for quite a while, and it's just a matter of GCW finding out about it now. But yes, anywhere on the Southwest, if there's a dive bar that needs a no ring show, it needs a hardcore guy on a no ring show, shit's always been there. He's kind of been a presence, and I love to see him get it more ring time in GCW.
As long as there's motorcycle parking, he'll have a space.
Oh yeah,
he'll be it. Okay, on to our next match here that really wasn't a match. We had Krule versus Matt Tremont. Unfortunately, like we said, Matt got injured. I will say there was one cool thing about this match. The fans banging on the ring before both guys actually had a chance to meet. That was cool as shit. Like something about that felt, I don't know.
Yeah, the LA fans have definitely taken to Matt Tremont, giving him the hero's welcome every time. Sadly, there was nothing to follow up for it due to reasons beyond anyone's control. I was disappointed. I wanted to see Krule wrestle for the first time since his debut in Los Angeles a few months ago at Homecoming. Unfortunately, we really didn't get to see that. We didn't get to see Tremont, but just hope everything's going well with Matt Tremont. Hopefully it's just a minor setback and we'll have him back shortly in good health.
Big love to him. All right. GCW Ultra Violent Championship. This was our main event. 13 minutes and 1 second. This 1 second thing.
Okay, yes, we got the second back on this match. Yeah.
All right. Ciclope wins the Awesome Jacket Award of the night. His gear was great. Was excited to see Otis' first title defense, and I was looking forward to seeing him put his stamp on the UV Championship. Following the Valentine's theme, we had Gusset Roses and a box of thumbtack bats. Yeah, that was completely unexpected. I thought it was cool. I think that's the LA crew that makes that. All the LA guys that sit to the left of us there. Usually I hear a little report with them saying, I brought this, I brought that. So something's telling me that was them.
Yeah, they've got to be feeling like unchained after having to do all this work for all the smaller shows like Circle 6 and such. Now they're getting to do their stuff on the big stage. So we love to see that.
Sumner, we were just talking about that. As of right now, I've talked to Brett, and his official was he's injured. I haven't heard anything from Matt or Brett. They haven't made any official statements on it either, unfortunately. So I don't have anything more to that. I'm so sorry. And partially just it's a personal thing, so I didn't want to get involved. You know what I mean? So
yeah, Chico Too Sweet. Yes, I was one of the people that was buying merch after the show. Ciclope definitely had thumbtacks on his head and blood all over his wrist tape. But you can actually go on my timeline and find the picture.
We get along well, he and I, even though we don't speak the same language. And I saw him up front and he was just covered in blood and he gave me this shit-eating grin. Like he knew what he looked like and he knew how bad it was. But what a good way to take a picture if you're a deathmatch fan, right?
Yeah, last year it was the picture after he got the wind knocked out of him at the Coldest Winter after that ladder match with Mance Warner.
No love from the Ultra Violent Championship. Where's the chocolate? Sorry, Ishmael. All right, here. Let's move on to this. Okay, so Ciclope, let's move into this here. Okay.
Yeah, he's got enough English to work the merch table, so it's all good.
Yeah, he's pretty good with that. It's just you guys have heard me. I'm wordy. So between he and I, the first time we ever talked, actually, I went through a translator on Google and sent it to him in Spanish, and he did Google Translate in English and sent it back to me. So that was actually a heartwarming moment where we did our best to actually reach out to each other and just say, hey, you're cool. You know? No, Reed is right. His English isn't bad. It's just, it's not easy dissecting my words. So Otis went through a door early. Eventually he brought out a barbed wire door from underneath the ring and set it up on the floor of the UCC. Otis was first blood. Thumbtacks came out and Otis was speared into them. Otis answered by lifting Ciclope and dropping him face first onto those tacks. Great spot. The thumbtack baseball bats come out and Ciclope's head and arms are covered in tacks. Ciclope hushed the crowd so everyone in the room could hear both wrestlers crack heads. That was nasty to hear live. Otis was sitting ringside. Ciclope crashes into him and they both go through that barbed wire door bridge set up on the floor. Ciclope had a kid help him with a chair and that made the kid's day. A glass pane bridge was set up. Ciclope puts Otis through it. Now, something about that glass, I don't know what had made it explode like it did, but I was you saw me how far away I was, Screwball. Yeah. I was picking chunks of glass out of my lap.
Oh, yeah, I was racing for cover because I was on that side of the ring.
Bro, what was going on with that glass? Was it just extra strong or something?
Maybe it was just another case of non-tempered glass. Who knows?
Okay, so no kidding. That's the first thing I looked for because I thought maybe that was the case, but it wasn't. I was actually looking and going because once it hit and blew up, I'm like, what the hell was that pain? Like, that was a strong ass
time, like it's like a snowflake. No two panes of glass are gonna break the same. So
bingo right there. Yeah, see that glass. Yeah, man was there. That glass was loud. Something about that. If we had more glass like that, how sweet wrestling would be. So let's see here. Ciclope comes off the top and drops belly first onto the cross. Otis rolls him on his back, then landed a moonsault on top of him. Also, I really wish they maybe would have given a Sandman reference, since there was the cross from when Sandman was in ECW.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that when they brought it out. It was like, I was also thinking, I was wondering if maybe this match inherited some gimmicks since Matt Tremont versus Krule did not happen. I figured that match was also going to be very deathmatch heavy, so I do wonder if they got a little bit of extra stuff that they needed to burn through since Krule and Tremont weren't able to burn through it.
Smart. Also, I mean, you add to the the main event if the match before it doesn't deliver. You know what I mean? I think that makes sense. Add another 7 minutes on this one, guys, and let's just give them a big main event.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much extra plunder ended up being part of this match that was meant for Krule and Tremont. So, like, that cross gimmick seems like it could have easily been for Tremont and Krule, given their history.
I see that being used again and again. That thing was unfazed. When they were pulling it out, it just looked as fresh as when they brought it back in with just a little blood on it. Actually, I kind of hope they keep that, because if it does get stained, it would look really cool if they keep bringing it out and just more stains
yeah, it's
go
more
on
and more blood on it.
Yeah.
Eventually, it breaks, but they just duct tape it together and bring it back out.
Wild spot where Otis slapped 2 gussets on Ciclope's head. That was pretty intense there also. Wife got a good picture of him with both of them before he slaps them on. It's a pretty cool picture. Our finish here, Otis swings a chair and knocks Ciclope down, and he covers him for 3. Our winner, and still the Ultra-Violent Championship, Otis Cogar wins his first title defense. I wrote here that it was satisfying and violent for a first title defense. What were your opinions on this one?
Yeah, this was just great ultra-violence, kind of needed after the come down of the Tremont Krule situation here. Shout out to anyone that also, kind of got the idea to bring out your merch a little bit early before the main event, kind of give us something to do as we waited for Tremont to get carted off. And yeah, other than that, this was just, it was definitely the sort of thing we needed after the heartbreak of the last thing. Shout out to Otis Cogar for finally making his UCC debut. No better way to do it than in the main event, being the first defense of your UV title. Now we just need Christian out here to bring us all of Vandal 48.
I'm going to go to this real quick. It says, speaking of merch tables, I'll be very curious to see how that is handled with the collective being next to WrestleCon, especially since many of the GCW folks are not announced for con. Yeah, that's going to be interesting because, the rooms are side by side. I had a chance to go see him last weekend and didn't, but I got a little bit of a report on them. Beautiful rooms. I think Brett gave the name of both rooms already. I'm not sure. And if it wasn't him, maybe it was Ash or somebody. But
yeah, I am interested to see how the merch situation is handled, because generally to go into WrestleCon, you got to pay the cover charge, and I don't know if they're going to be cool with people selling right outside for free, since they're just part of the show. So that is going to be some interesting red tape to see how that goes, and especially since I don't think they want them selling in the room where the collective's actually happening, because then they can't turn over the room so easily.
Wow. Next level thinking. I didn't even think about that at all. You know what? I'll try to get an answer.
Yeah, that is going to be very interesting, because it kind of works against how both businesses would use in the past. Like, half the fun of indie wrestling is to go meet all the talent, and at the same time, like, do you want to pay a cover charge just for meet and greets in between the GCW shows?
Yeah, Frank. That was Frank and his crew. That's who was bringing all the stuff. Frank, did you guys do the barbed wire cross there, or was that somebody else that had brought in that here? Kind of curious about that. I liked how Clown said Raven should have come to apologize at the end of the show for the cross. Another little piece of news. I want to tell everybody I spoke with Otis before the show. I wanted to kind of get a better understanding of who he is, what he's about. First of all, awesome guy, smart, understands himself and the business very well. I'd realized, like, as an ultra-violent champion, but also as the Vandal 48 enforcer, he doesn't need to really speak on the mic. He told me that he really wants to make his point in the ring. That's his focus. And I respect that. So I'm not going to get on him about cutting promos because that's actually opposite of who he is with Vandal 48. He's basically the muscle. Atticus is the one who really does the speaking. And I mean, if you want to know the real Vandal, it's probably our third guy. So, you know, Napier, I think, is really the one that gets under people's skin. So after I talked to him about that, that made perfect sense. So I'm trying to get, you know, blood out of a turnip here. You know, that's kind of the way I look at it.
And there will be a time that it will eventually come where he does have to speak, and I'm sure he'll do quite well when it gets there.
Oh, for sure. After I've had a chance now to talk with him just a little bit, he'll be fine. It's just a matter of when. Well, that was show number 1 there. We got through the kickoff. We got through the Coldest Winter 4. Do you want to do like a 3-minute break real quick before
Yeah, I
we
could
go into
use
the second half?
that. I could get a chance to get some business done.
Okay, sweet. Everybody, we're going to do the 3-minute cookie. So you'll see the countdown there. Relax, take it easy, breathe, and we'll see you back in 3 minutes. And we're still on the air. All right.
Yeah, we're back.
All right here. Yeah, we just went through LA and I was going to go into GCW's Holy Smokes from the Nile in Phoenix. Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds great.
All righty. By the way, thank you for coming in tonight, Screwball. I really do appreciate you. I wanted to make sure I said that. I hadn't had a chance to say that yet.
Yes, I know, and I appreciate being a part of this. Like, it's definitely something I feel honored to do, and it helps get this show going. So, like this week without B, like it would definitely be not as good if I wasn't here.
No, that's the truth. You came in clutch quite a few times, and I'm really thankful that we have you. Period. How about that?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And again, thanks for having the invite. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be on the show Saturday, so it was good to have the 3-person booth going.
We're fortunate. It was one of those things. Brett's like, roll it, because the quiet thing is yeah, we actually do check in and make sure everything's okay up front, just because we're representing the company and we make sure that he knows exactly what he's getting. It's a process, but yeah, you're an easy, since he knows you, he knows what you do, he knows you're not on here, doing stupid things. So it's an easy, you're an easy choice. All right. Yeah. GCW's Holy Smokes from the Nile in Phoenix, Arizona. Commentary, fantastic job. Most importantly, both B and Screwball were there. Still crossing my fingers, maybe.
Yes, it was nice to finally get to the Nile. This was my first time at the Nile, and hopefully can be back soon.
Okay, thoughts on the Nile. What was your feeling? What was your...
Definitely a smaller room than the UCC, but at the same time, that just meant all that sound was bouncing back even closer than before. Definitely a loud venue here, and I was so stoked, especially for some of the people we saw in our opener.
You know what? Before we get to that, I just want to say, isn't the Arizona crowd cool? Like, they're loud, they're thankful. Like, I wish we had more of that. And the LA crowd is good. I just wish we had some of that Phoenix energy come to LA, because man, that's a good wrestling culture.
Now, I will say this. Brett did allude to something on the Patreon podcast earlier. There may be a one night only for LA in the future, and maybe a smaller room with more depth could be what we need to get some of that energy.
We can keep talking about that, or we don't have to. What you thinking?
Yep. Well, I think that's a perfect way to move on to our opener.
Sounds good. All right, here on to our 4-way match. We have JKM, Dante King, Gino Rivera, and Thugnificent. And let me tell you, with 4 minutes and 51 seconds, they did about as much as you can ask for 4 men to do in that amount of time. All right, so welcome to GCW Dante King, 4 years in the business from Las Vegas, Nevada. He was most recently the FSW No Limits champion for 242 days. GCW was the 20th documented company Dante has worked for in his career, still under only 100 matches. This was his 84th career match documented. He has a longer body or exceptionally long limbs. I don't know which one it is.
He's a tall dude.
Good length. Is he?
Yeah, like a legit over 6 feet tall. Probably about the same size, about the same height as you are. So.
Okay. All right.
Yes, a lot of athleticism put into that body. And if it wasn't very apparent, him and JKM are very close, training partners in real life. Both, I believe, actually came up initially with Gino Rivera, training under Gino Rivera before moving to Vegas. So, that's pretty much a career-long friendship right there.
Well, that's what I was going to kind of ask you. Maybe if you know, are all these 4 people under the Rivera tree?
I'm not sure about Thugnificent. He's more of an Arizona guy. I don't know quite as much about him as I know about JKM and Dante, but definitely I do know that Thugnificent is one of those guys that's like Arizona royalty. Definitely a name that could sell tickets if he was actually announced ahead of time, just based upon how much the locals know him. Also, this was not the only show to take place in Arizona in the Phoenix area that day. Earlier that day, Wrestle Drag ran a noon show at a rodeo. So a lot of talent. Dante and JKM especially were initially there for that show, and just that's probably how they got the slot tonight, was just being guys that were available that were known locally.
Huh. I did not know. That's why you're here, bud. All right.
Yeah, I wish I could have gotten in town sooner so I could actually went to that Wrestle Drag show, because they had quite the lineup too. But yes, definitely glad to see Dante King, very underrated name that's starting to make waves. As you said, No Limits champion, definitely has a bright future.
Now, did you fly or drive into Arizona?
Oh, I flew.
Okay. And I'm guessing that's what, like an hour, 45 minutes in the
Yeah,
end?
that's like basically a little bit over an hour flight.
All right. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. I don't know, that 5-hour, 6-hour drive from LA to Phoenix doesn't sound too sexy sometimes.
Yeah, I think B can make it till the third match because B had to drive. So
Yeah. Oh, I did the math already. I usually get home about 1:30 from the show. So, well, you've been with us. Sometimes 12:30, 1:30 is usually when we get out. And by the time the adrenaline's drained and I've eaten something, it's like 3:00. For me to make that 6-hour trip and out there, I would have been up so early and so tired that
yeah, it's I had to get up at like 7 a.m. just to get on the flights and LA traffic.
That's no fun. No, that's not what you want to do.
Yeah, like I want to be alert for the Arizona show. So yeah, flying was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Well, you wanted to know about Thugnificent a little more. I got something to tell you. Okay, welcome to GCW Thugnificent, hailing from Mesa, Arizona. 9 years in the business, trained at the AWF Academy, 7-time champion, and the current IZW 3D Sports Fighting Champion.
Yes,
this
IZW is one of the promotions I want to get out to Arizona for locally.
Now, is it that Phoenix area?
Yes, it is Phoenix area. They run a lot of the Arizona indies, if they're not running like the Nile, they will run a venue called Bull Shooters. And that's kind of where IZW runs a lot of their shows.
Dude, I'm learning things tonight. Thank you so much.
But anyways, back to Thugnificent. He's a name that I occasionally will see at an FSW show, but definitely more of a Phoenix known commodity.
Well, I want to give him congratulations because this match was his 100th documented career match in the business. Congratulations. And I have to say, I think he showed out here. JKM has been a fan favorite in Arizona. I think he's catching on nicely with the GCW crew. Killer Fosbury flop. I miss seeing Blake Christian doing those, so it's nice to see a little Fosbury. I look forward to him growing and maybe becoming more at GCW. Commentary echoed my statement at the end of this match, so I want to also say the same thing. I like JKM, what he's doing. Young guy, looking forward to seeing where he's at. Same thing, got a little length to him, skinnier guy too. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's just when you're up against Dante King, of course you're going to look a little bit shorter. But yes, both of them very athletic. They complement each other well. They do have actually matching gear if they ever want to run them as opponents for maybe for Bustah in the Brain or whoever has the GCW titles next time they're in Arizona.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Oh yeah, I've seen them at a bunch of like smaller Vegas shows, tagging, or even like in a 3-way with Gypsy Mac.
Well, my last little note, Gino Rivera, happy to see him back. I know a lot of fans in the area were looking forward to seeing him. I'll tell you this much. He was the veteran. He was the rock. He bumped and sold his ass off for these kids. I think that's what I'm going to say here, just knowing where they all lie. I think that's what Gino was here. Is he was the one who knew what to do, how to do it. And I think the kids were basically bouncing a lot of their stuff off of him mentally and physically. Our finish here, JKM has a killer code red that he followed up quickly with a 450 splash like only a young guy could. So our winner here, again, in less than 5 minutes that were action-packed, JKM. The fans liked it. Again, it was very short, but I felt like an excellent usage of time, jam-packed with excitement. I think that's the way most wrestling shows should start.
If anything, we should feel privileged that it got on the broadcast and not as a pre-show match. Because even though it was primarily there to act as a pre-show match, I definitely feel like fans at home got a treat getting to see 4 excellent talents that are on the come up.
Damn, dude. Took my notes. On to match number 2. ELP versus Alec Price. 13 and 44 minutes long. ELP had a great showing in LA, so I looked forward to what he was going to do in this match. Both Alec and ELP have similar build, strength, and height, which gave us a solid physical matchup with plenty of speed and agility. ELP says Alec can keep his glasses if he wins the match.
Well, Alec asked first if he just wanted to wear the glasses, and then ELP made the bet. So it was a way of it was a bit of mind game.
So now the match is for the glasses. Emma was wearing the glasses in commentary, asking Jordan to call him MOP, which I thought was pretty good. As I go along, I could see where ELP could show Alec a few new moves that he could prosper with. They both poured a lot into this match. GCW chants were heard several times. Our winner in this one was ELP. Fans beat the mat immediately after this match commenced. And I'll echo what I think both Screwball and I were saying earlier. I really do hope we see ELP more at GCW. I think he was a great addition to the card, and he's like Screwball or KJ. He's one of those guys that as long as you see him in whatever slot he has, you know that slot is covered.
Yeah, I love the part where Alec actually hit the 720 DDT, but
Yes.
he unfortunately for him, ELP managed to get out of the ring, so wasn't able to get the win with that. But on the bright side, even though ELP got the victory, Alec at least got to wear the glasses.
So all is well that ends well, right?
Yes. And as I was thinking about the glasses, I actually came up with another idea for another match or tag team. There's someone else that we see occasionally see in
I
GCW.
already
Yes,
yep,
okay, you know where I'm going this. Yes, 0121 versus the Headbanger or tagging together. Either one of those would be great.
Oh man. Whoop whoop. Juggalo, good to see you. We always wonder when you're going to show up. We're happy to see you in here. And funny, he shows up for match 3, which is
well, it would have even more appropriate if he had showed up for the brothers match, but we'll get to that.
Well, that's our next match right here. Match number 3, our tag team match. The team of Ciclope and Vipress versus Brothers of Funstruction. All right. So again, I really wish this match had some more time, but at 8.5 minutes, I felt like everybody still made their point. This is a very hardcore and fun match. The brothers kicked ass on their West Coast tour all weekend. I learned Ciclope and Vipress work really well together. Both are fan favorites. I also hope Vipress is learning a couple things. This is like the Bear Tremont situation where we could have Vipress learning things from Ciclope.
Yes.
Also, if they end up being together just a little bit, you have Vipress already over, and then you have Ciclope as almost the lovable mouthpiece that could just put it over even further. Let's see here.
Well, I did love the spot with the door where they did a knock-knock joke, and then Ciclope punches the door open, and then they do the sleeve spot through the door. That was worth the price of admission alone.
They're just their brothers have the West Coast under their control. I think that it's easy to say that out here they're an easy yes.
But at
in
the
LA,
same time, credit to their opponents. Rob Shit, both tours. This time, Ciclope and Vipress. Knowing how to react to their material and Shit especially knowing to pivot when they thought they were going to be the local face team, but then the brothers got over and they shifted on a dime. Like the brothers should be buying Rob Shit like a cake or some celebratory joints just for how much he did for them in that match.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of awesome cooperation, and I felt like they both kind of gained from it.
Yeah, everyone that the brothers have worked with has been a home run since in their LA tour, and it's going to continue because they've got slots on the Midwest tour coming up.
I was talking to my wife about how interesting it would be that they have to go through some of these airports and explain, I'm a wrestler. These are my gimmicks. You know what I mean?
Well, the suitcase with all their gimmicks that they bring to the ring, like that's got to be a piece of luggage or a carry-on. So that's an interesting one to explain to TSA.
And Reed said here, if the brothers' opponents don't play along, it ruins it.
Yeah, so shout out to the Epics, shout out to Rob Shit, shout out to CPA, shout out to Ciclope and Vipress for knowing how to maximize the brothers' gimmick in these LA appearances, in these West Coast appearances.
So, fans love Ciclope throwing his partner out of the ring and onto the brothers. I think that was a fun little where he picked her up over his head, and just fucking slammed her down. I'll keep it quick here. Our finish. Fans erupted when Vipress put Ruffo on her shoulders and through a door. She followed up with a frog splash from the top rope for the win. Our winner in this one, Ciclope and Vipress. Okay, so we have a viable team. Do you think that they could take a run at the GCW Tag Team Champions?
like we've talked about in the past about how there could be one day a deathmatch twinge to the tag team title scene. Obviously, it's not going to be the case right now with Oliver and Price holding the belts, but in a short time, that could happen depending on who Price and Oliver eventually drop the titles to. In the meantime, though, in the immediate future, Vipress's future is on that UV scene. That match with Murdoch is going to be make or break, and hopefully, if that goes well, we have TOS in our future.
Mm.
Because that's got to be the next logical step after a match with John Wayne Murdoch.
Oh, that John Wayne Murdoch match with Vipress. Really looking forward to how that one goes.
It's not our first time at the in Atlantic City, but it is our first time in a death match in AC. So that's going to be a huge test.
Yep. Crow said, "Wonder what's next." What's next is John Wayne Murdoch, and I think we're going to know a lot more after that. But she's going to come out of that looking great, guaranteed.
Yes, nothing else. Like we finally have someone on the loop that is representing the UCC. It may be GCW's home away from home, but we don't see the home away from home when we're not at the home away from home. So
Bingo.
we need someone on that loop that represents the West Coast scene when we're not on the West Coast. And Vipress, I think, is the person we are hitching our wagon to.
Well, the reason why I asked you about the GCW Tag Team Championship belt is because they just beat the Brothers of Funstruction, who were the former GCW Tag Team Champions.
Didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this might be something down the road I see could be something. I feel like this is old GCW. In the old GCW days, this is a tag team all day long. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, Ciclope is already a huge part of that title's history. So, I would definitely, if Vipress passes the test against Murdoch, and I think she will, I would love to see the rejects versus Ciclope and Vipress.
Ooh, that's another good one too.
Also, Ciclope and Vipress versus Violence is Forever.
Yeah. Let's see, Murdoch and AC, and who versus Vipress at MDK Fight Club. Oh, that's getting a little early. You know who would be interesting if Vipress at MDK Fight Club would be redacted? Again, I feel like Ciclope is like the West Coast John Wayne Murdoch for the last 6 months or so. I feel like
we mentioned that on the Kickoff Show that Ciclope seems to be the gatekeeper of the UV scene. But if anyone's going to challenge that moniker, it's John Wayne Murdoch.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one's going to go. Also, Juggalo's just saying, like Brothers of Funstruction. I say check out that show on YouTube, for crying out loud. It's free. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. If it's your flavor, that's great. And if it's not, you tried. There are quite a few talents over there that haven't been seen in a long time. And, flavors over there pretty crazy. I'll be honest. There's a lot more promos that I would like, but I know that's because they brought in Russo and that's more of his style. Outside of that, though, I felt like everything they've been doing has been pretty good, and I've enjoyed it.
And a fantasy book here, maybe not necessarily for GCW, but maybe Stranglemania. I would love to see Vipress versus Mickey Knuckles in a death match.
Oh, shit. Oh, my goodness. I hope Vipress is ready for that.
Yes.
The jinx. Yeah, both Casa and Reed Harris Cooper said Danger versus Vipress. Those are two newbies, though. That could get...
Also, very different styles. Like that may be a styles clash that I wouldn't put them against right at this moment. But once they have a little bit more seasoning, that could be definitely a combination that could be a little bit unexpected.
I'm still not against the team of Danger and gosh, how's his name?
Sicko?
Yeah, I feel like that's still a good team, especially since they're both kind of on the same path.
Yeah, anything like I would probably book Vipress and Sicko in a one-on-one since Sicko's got a little bit more tenure in the deathmatch scene.
Interesting. Juggalo's asking about Vampiro in his last match. I have no idea.
You know what? Okay. Give Janela that match.
Oh. I'll be honest. I already asked if there's going to be like some Juggalo GCW stuff. I wasn't given an answer. So I don't know. I'd like to see just a little more, just not a year's worth, but a month or two here or there wouldn't be terrible.
I mean, we talked about that, how Janela's kind of brought to the dance by wrestling the older guys in these spring break things. Since he doesn't have the Sandman, let's give him Vampiro.
Hey, I'm going to throw it back on you, Juggalo. Who do you think it would be?
Yeah, I'd actually like to hear your
Yeah.
opinion as someone that kind of fucks with
Knows
the
their
Juggalos more than
shit.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, you know your shit there. So yeah, let us know who you think it might be. RVD would be a great choice.
Oh man, though, if I was going to put RVD in there, I'd have him in a tag with someone with the two younger guys to kind of anchor the match.
I guess Vampiro has retired a couple times. I think it's
At the same time,
how it
though,
is.
he can't have that much physical like that. I think he's got to be wearing down.
He unfortunately, the poor guy I think has dementia. If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
I don't think it's like there's something that leads to dementia, like Parkinson's or something.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's
Yeah.
the quiet part of
Hopefully
the
we can get him
industry.
someone that can get him one last great Vampiro performance. Someone that kind of got into wrestling with WCW Nitro in like 98, 99. Vampiro was my dude for a while, so I would love to see someone get one last really great performance out of Vamp.
I think he's deserved it too. I'll give it that much right now. I remember from WCW and onward. So I mean, I've seen a lot of him, and just want to see him do well.
Yep. But anyways, I think back to Ciclope and Vipress versus Funstruction.
Yeah, the winners were Ciclope and Vipers.
Yeah.
That was all my notes. Okay, moving on to our fourth match. The Luchador banger, Vengador versus Rey Horus. Again, I felt like this was longer. This was only an 11-minute match.
Yeah, they started early with the signature Horus over the turnbuckle spot.
Yeah, it opened the damn match. Like, okay, so that was kind of weird. Excuse me, because the transition was he just got out of the ring and just stood over by the pole. And I'm like, okay, he's doing a spot. You know, this isn't always for us. This is for the fans who don't know every little.
Yeah, and like a lot of them are seeing their first Rey Horus dive over the post, so let them have it.
Which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, like that's a feat of athleticism right there.
I felt like this is what I needed to see out of both performances, though, and I feel this is a must-watch match that put both of them on another level. I was already sold on Vengador, but this match finally sealed the deal that if he comes to GCW, he is capable of doing enough to make sure he can, fill his role.
Sometimes you just need those singles matches, as great as the tags and trios are. Sometimes you just need to see them one-on-one with a great known commodity like Horus.
It was just, I need to see them think for themselves and no hiding behind other teammates. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
nothing to lean on. So Horus started the match with a dive over the corner ring post. We were just talking about that. And that is a key indicator of how this match actually went. They fought outside of the ring. You would almost swear the match happened half in the air and half on the ground. I don't think I've ever said that before, but I was actually inspired to say there was so much aerial attack here.
You know what this reminded me of is that one J Cup where Speedball Mike Bailey wrestled Commander and they started the match literally on the ropes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jeez, you just joggled a memory right there.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like you joggled the memory by saying that they fought most of the match in the air, and it's like I'm thinking, oh, that's what this reminds me of.
Our Vengador was our winner here, and after the match, I wanted to see, Ash, if you're in here, the camera nailed a perfect shot of Vengador when he was on his knees. And Vengador, Horus, please come back.
Yeah, and I will say something I've noticed about seeing a lot of Vengador's matches in GCW live. The crowd loves and always pops for his finish, the pump handle pile driver. Oh. It's an incredible snap move, and it always gets a reaction.
He's a good find. I'm looking forward to him coming back in another capacity. I was trying to sneak in. I don't know if you heard me or not. I was trying to sneak in on the kickoff show if maybe he was coming back. I was asking Gringo, we're going to see him at Collective, but I didn't really get an answer there.
He's announced for the Lucha show, so we're going to see him there. And I would love to see him versus Galeno Demal as the two bigger luchadors on that show.
Hey, Ash, since you're in here real quick, I want to tell you, I don't know what's been going on, but your ringside cameras especially have been catching a lot of those those emotional moments. I see a lot more wrestlers now playing into the camera more than usual. And I also saw this weekend, both at Los Angeles and Arizona, it was almost like you were trying to catch moments, and I don't know who was really behind that, but it actually made the production look better overall.
And shout out to a lot of the individual camera people that are on there. People that I've gotten to know both in LA from the UCC, and a lot of them will also run Pride Style out in Vegas as well. People like Kevin, Chance. They're also tremendous people and talented at what they do.
Was there anything else about this one you wanted to mention?
Nope. I think that we got it here. Vengador's finish is awesome. They started the match and just never let up. Great performance by both.
Perfect. All right, on to match number 5, Jordan Oliver versus Hammerstone. Okay, my initial concern was how rough will Hammerstone be on Jordan? Dude is a thick rock of muscle, and again, go see him sometime. He's incredible to look at, honestly.
Yeah, someone I've gotten to see many times live in Vegas at the big FSW shows. Like always, even just walking up to the merch table, like dude's freaking gigantic.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a story. I don't know if I've ever told anybody before. This is a great story. When I was first getting into the local scene here in Las Vegas, and again, this is years ago, I remember going up to a table and I saw Hammerstone there and I saw all of his photos and I went, dude, you have the classic wrestler look. If you keep working hard and doing what you do, you're going to go places. Now, I didn't already know he's been some places.
Yeah, he's been the MLW World Champion. Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to tell you for sure, he was humble and was like, thank you. I really appreciate it. Like, he didn't go through, I'm a champion, all that ego shit. He was just like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And then I found out later and I'm like, oh my God, I was an idiot in front of Hammerstone. It happens though. Yeah. Jordan versus Hammerstone was a match between brain versus bronze.
But at the same time, I think Hammerstone might disagree with that a little bit, judging by the post-match. But, speaking of FSW, this is a match I first saw in 2021 at the FSW Changing the Game show, right before GCW's official Vegas debut. And that match was such a success and such a bar burner live that it inspired a line of GCW versus FSW shows. So it was nice to see the run back here.
All right, so I love the bottom rope pose that Hammerstone did when he put his boots into Jordan's face. Did you see that? Where he's like, I thought that was awesome. Many times here, Jordan looked like the underdog, as he should. There were a lot of dueling chants, which is rare in an Oliver match. Like,
yes, but at the same time, Hammerstone is an Arizona guy. He is royalty here. So
my next note says, but this is Hammerstone's hometown.
Yeah.
Our finish here, Jordan jumped up on Hammerstone's back, rolled him into a cradle, got the 3 count, sneaky as hell. Our winner, Jordan Oliver.
Yeah, that's what you have to do to escape the 9-bear pendulum.
But Jordan and Hammerstone put each other over in a kick him in the nuts kind of way. That made Jordan bigger, but great job by Hammerstone for that.
Hammerstone can't just let the guy just say that he's got no brains. Like, he had to kind of stick up for himself a little bit here through some of those backhanded compliments.
And who's the veteran? Like, how are you going to talk to Hammerstone like that?
Yeah, Hammerstone's the vet. You can find the footage of him back in like 2012 where he didn't have the muscles. He was a skinny guy. And he's earned the right to say that he's got as much brains as Jordan Oliver does.
To go where he's gone and then back again, you need a little brains.
Yeah. So, yes, he had to humble Jordan a little bit. But, yes, I think this is grounds for yet another Hammerstone Oliver match down the line.
So here's a little detail. Thank you, Ishmael, that was mentioned that I didn't talk about. But, yeah, Jordan actually slapped his leg to get the pin. Okay, so I don't know if that was him saying, damn it, you go down here.
Well, Hammerstone's had a bit of an injury in the past with that leg, so it was also kind of a way to get him to loosen that lower body grip on the mat.
And Rita said, "Yeah, I've seen Alex grow naturally. Same issue, Screwball. People think Alex is a roid machine, but he literally built himself.
And even if he did use chemical enhancements, like that doesn't mean he didn't put in the work. So, Hammerstone's got that body, and one way or another, he's earned it.
Let's see here. We got Juggalo telling everybody you got to tune in. Yeah, and he's right. I mean, if you're really interested in Stranglemania, because that is their big show, and that's their big show. That's like their spring break. So he's basically saying, look, if you want to know what's going on, you're interested in seeing the show, you're going to probably be smart and watch the run-ups, and that's probably what you're going to be doing with a couple companies leading up into there. All right, our next match, Juicy Finale versus CPA. I can't even believe this went 6 minutes, but in less than 6 minutes, Juicy whooped his ass. It started with CPA wanting, basically he wanted slapped like Juicy does.
Well, you know why he did that, right? Power slap.
Oh, okay. I thought that was why. Okay, I thought there was like
Juicy
another.
Finale's been on Power Slap. That's one of
Yeah.
the reasons we haven't seen him as much in GCW is, and that's kind of a thing I actually see quite a bit locally. Is there's a few other people on Power Slap that also make appearances on the Vegas indie scene. Shout out Mariachi Montana. And they a lot of, I've seen a few people try to do that Power Slap against people like Mariachis and Zoe Dubois. So it was it was natural to see it here against Juicy.
Reed's playing into it. He said, "Who was that dude? That wasn't Juicy. That was some jerk." Yeah, that was damn near us. If it was about a minute or two shorter, I'd say that's about 3 minutes shorter. I'd say that's a pretty good squash. CPA got a huge chant when he removed his shirt to reveal the one underneath it. That's his thing. Replace it.
He's got incredible comedic timing. Like,
yes, he does.
That's the sort of thing you cannot teach.
No, and that's never talked about with him, is he actually does know when to do what he does. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah,
also,
him and Funstruction both. Like that's their big thing.
I also want to give him credit. He's the first one I've seen since the 90s that did the raise the roof thing. Our finish here, CPA body slam Juicy, tore off his shirt to reveal another, delivers the 1099, goes for the missile drop kick, and gets punched out of midair, knocked out cold. Our winner in this one, Juicy Finale. And I'll just, because it's the last time I'm mentioning CPA on this show, cool seeing him out west. He works well in small amounts, as long as we don't know his tricks. So it'd be nice to see him out here again down the road.
Yeah, if anything, he's kind of the East Coast counterpart to someone like maybe Santana Jackson. You don't want to see him on every show because once you've seen all the gimmicks, it's not going to hit as well. But if you space them out and have them back maybe like every 4 or so tours in different towns and such, like you can get a lot out of him.
And then, Alice Crowley, Haley J. I actually saw all those. Alice did good. I think Haley had a couple wins on her belt also. I still think there's a place for Alice Crowley at GCW. And I think that if Haley J was allowed to breathe properly, could probably piss off a lot of GCW fans also.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more of Alice Crowley back in GCW. We've kind of fantasy booked her maybe being an unofficial Vandal. I think that has legs. But yes, definitely want to see more Alice Crowley. I'm not quite as high on Haley J, but maybe there is a spot for her as well.
Let's see here. Reed said, I feel he's going to be way more gay at brunch. Oh yeah. CPA's announced for gay brunch.
Wait. No, it's not CPA. It's CP gay.
Oh, I forgot about that. Let's see here. Reed said Haley J stopped being ghetto and holy shit, she got good. Also the fact Haley J and Danny Mo squashed their beef.
Yeah, there was a big incident a few years ago. Like I think it was an OVW show. That's a story for another podcast.
Okay. Well, I mean, people get into it all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure if you Google their two names, you'll find it easily.
All right, here on to our next match. This was a non-title match. Otis Cogar versus Shotzi Blackheart. Brett jumped on the microphone for this match. The first few minutes was an actual wrestling match. Damn good, too. Then both started swinging weapons, and we had a hardcore match. We had doors, trash cans, chairs, a baseball bat with thumbtacks. I felt it was a good death match. I'm keeping it short here. Our finish, Otis put Shotzi through a door bridge and covered for 3. Our winner, Otis Cogar. I think Otis really likes those thumbtack baseball bats, doesn't he?
Yeah, that and the straight razor are pretty much his gimmicks. Of course, Shotzi Blackheart is popular as ever, even though her win record is kind of bordering abysmal. Her popularity certainly is not. If you've seen her merch lines, every time I've seen her, like she had the big merch line in Arizona today at the show. Similar situation in LA. Her merch line was especially huge on our first show, the UCC back at Homecoming. So, like, as long as she keeps bringing in these performances, I don't care about her win-loss record. Let's keep getting her in bigger and bigger marquee matches, because every time she's in it, she brings it.
Well said. So I was kind of wondering why this wasn't a title defense, but there's always reasons. So not always, but usually there's a challenge coming down the road. I was just hoping they laid some breadcrumbs for that challenge down the road. Would have been nice.
Else, like you couldn't tell by the match that it wasn't a UP title match, because it sure felt like it.
Yeah, Otis would have picked up the win anyway.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I mean, he would have been able to say he's 2-0. There's always a reason, and we don't know. That's okay. Our next match, one called Manders versus Effy. I felt fans equally adored both competitors. They were stiff, and that made it more believable. And that also upped the quality of the match in my mind. They sold the rivalry well, and Effy sold everyone that he isn't fine. Unsure if I've ever seen a door thrown and it breaks in half over someone's head like Effy and Manders did. That may have been new for me. Effy goes a little crazy, grabs a huge screwdriver. Allie comes in, beats on.
Before you go any further,
yeah,
who does the screwdriver remind you of?
Mance Warner.
Yes, it's very interesting that Effy is beginning to resemble Mance Warner a little bit.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yes, that when I saw that giant screwdriver, I was like, "Oh, holy shit!" He's beginning to see things the way Mance sees things.
I can't believe. Yes, you're right. Oh my gosh. No. I didn't see that one coming, that it might be Mance. Oh, that's genius, though. That's genius if it all works out right. Also, yeah, Otis's weight loss.
Yeah, the Otis is looking incredible these days.
Man. Dude, I'm blown away. I didn't realize he could just be imitating or becoming something like Mance was. Dude, you're genius.
Yeah, sometimes you live long enough to be the villain. So whatever the Dark Knight said.
Wow. Is Effy going to start messing with fans now when he comes out? Wouldn't that be interesting?
Well, speaking of which, this match kind of brought to mind something that Brett Lauderdale said about, I think it was about Masha's title reign, as we were kind of getting sick of it. How a lot of fans may not necessarily be watching every single show, and thus may not be burnt out or on the same page as people that are watching every show. For a lot of people, GCW is almost a house show in some ways. Like GCW is a product they consume live, but maybe not necessarily follow on a week-to-week basis. And I think the fact that the fans are still very much into Effy live kind of exposes that a little bit. Like they're not following the story as intensely as some of us might be. So the fact that Effy is kind of being cheered over Manders when the story doesn't call for it, kind of is something to think about as we get through the later parts of this match, where Manders is getting pissed off by fans and he's mooning them after they pop for Effy mooning them.
Well, there are different levels of fans too for GCW. You got the ones that tune in for like the 4 or 5 major shows, you know, your TOSs, your COSs, Homecoming, you know, and then you have your casuals that only turn in if they heard something crazy went on. And then, you know, then there's people like us, and then there's the regular listeners. So there's a couple tiers. There's levels to this shit.
And the fact that Effy really hasn't had that heel turn yet, that's gone through all the socials and such. Definitely not surprised that that the fans are still very much backing Effy at this point.
It's hard to not. It is what it is. El Juggalo said, to be honest here, GCW resembles NJPW in terms of their touring schedule rather than a weekly show like what Juggalo Championship is doing.
And
which I
Danny's
agree
also
with.
bringing up something a bit interesting here. You notice Effy doesn't really have a merch table much these days. So he's definitely got to be thinking that heel mindset.
Money, money. I'm really surprised he doesn't.
At the same time, though, Effy's
Yeah.
been on all the towns so much that's like there's only so much Effy merchandise I can buy. So maybe scaling back on the merch now that he's portraying a more healed character makes sense. But at the same time, he's not quite officially there yet, so it is interesting.
I'll go up to a merch table sometimes and be like, I got that one. I got that
Mhm.
one. I got that one. No reason to spend more.
Yeah, it's like you can only buy
happens.
so many 8x10s, and if he's at that point, so maybe
Yes.
it's for the right thing to do right now.
That's probably a smart way to think about it, because I mean, the fans go and they see the same 4 shirts, or super fans probably have half the shirts, and they probably even go online and get them from their store and stuff. So it's not easy. Think Effy will start having different colors when he's fully heel. That would be nice. If Effy does turn heel, please let it be less Effy's butt, less.
I don't know. That butt was pretty over when we saw it.
So that's an interesting one. I see where a lot of people don't like it, and a lot of people find it funny. And it's one of those. I was gonna say split down the middle, but I don't want to make any ass jokes anymore. As it gets later into the evening. So Effy goes crazy, grabs that huge screwdriver. Allie comes in, beats on Effy. The whole circle of friends has been thrown into disarray. Manders is holding Allie back. Effy leaves. The match is called off. So weird. And our winner here, there wasn't one. It was a no contest. We're telling
certainly
stories.
No winners here between Allie and Manders.
No. The fact that Allie was beating on Effy, though, that's like when the last straw has finally been. Allie would never do that unless, of course, there's a real good reason.
Yeah, and now it's like there's heat between Manders and Allie, because Manders blames Allie for there not being a conclusion to this match. So it'd be very interesting to see where this goes, especially with all 3 of them still got to be top contenders despite the do or die from last night.
Clown said Effy has talked about packing less merch to save on baggage prices. I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, when everyone already has your merch, why bring it so much of it to shows?
Oh, yep. Part of it being called off also was slightly to do with the giant gash Effy wound up with on the back of it. Yeah, everybody saw that too.
And then Raleigh did mention a comment earlier. He said the screwdriver was definitely sourced and provided for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I think I'm right about the Mance Warner parallel. And it's interesting to mention Second Gear Crew now that the rest of the members, AJ Gray and Matthew Justice, are going to be on the West Coast loop. So be interested to see if they play a piece of part of the story as the friends begin to be more and more fractured.
I miss them. I'll take them back any damn time. The more hardcore, the better. Let's see here. Manders versus Allie.
Yeah, we'll probably get that at some point.
Okay, Big was asking, why was Hammerstone bleeding from the back? That's a good question. It could have been just a fingernail hit him or whatever. We saw it when it happened. It was like the size of a finger. So I'm thinking maybe someone's fingernail could have cut. I don't know.
Yeah, like there's all sorts of ways to get minor cuts and abrasions in a wrestling ring, especially if you're bumping on the outside. You don't know what hasn't been cleared from the ring. It could be an edge of a chair.
I think you're right there. Let's go into our main event. GCW World Championship. Atticus Cogar versus Sam Stackhouse. A little over 14 minutes long. Hopefully someone returns Sam's shirt. I will say, though, I talked to Sam yesterday. Still nothing on the shirt yet, and he's losing hope. So I feel bad for him. That literally has his daughter on there, and it's dated back to almost 10 years ago. As a there's a special spot for someone after. That's a shitty thing to do. You can't wear it.
It's like he'll pay for the shipping if you can get it over to him. He'll trade it for one of his merch shirts. Please give it back to him. Like that belongs to Stackhouses.
I'm close enough. I'm close enough that if someone would contact me, they can send it to me and I will send it back to Sam and not even tell anybody who did. If it will get the shirt back to Sam, I don't care who it is. You don't even have to put a name on it. Contact me, get me the address, or what, I'll give you the address or whatever, and you can send it through me. Sam is over
I'll
here.
offer to do the same. I got people
Yes.
that are close to Sam on my side too.
Yes.
I consider him a friend too. Like, let's get the shirt back to him. I don't care who took it, or if you want to remain nameless, we're both offering. Let's get it back to Sam.
Yes.
Please.
And I am Mr. I don't look down on anything. If you want to just try to do the right thing, please hit me up. I don't have to say a damn thing either. If it gets back, then everything is good. So hopefully ZMZO, behavior of a non-regular.
Yeah, don't ever take someone's ring gear or anything like that. That's one of the no-nos.
That's a lot of money. People don't understand how much a pair of boots cost. Dude, pads are $40, $30, $40, $50 a pair. Times one, times two on the knees, and it can get expensive real quick. And nobody's rich. None of us are rich. If anyone wants it and can drop it by the venue, there are plenty of people willing to help Sam out and help out anyone so that it can be returned without problem. So, El Juggalo said he would like to see Sam tap into his Mr. Happy alter ego and bring in St. Clair. That's a lot. However, Sam likes the Mr. Happy thing. He's really liked how that's turned out for him.
Yeah, and I don't know if he really wants to mix the personas just yet. So let's keep them separate for now.
Fair. Hopefully, someone returned that shirt. Now, match started with a spear from Sam through a door. It became hardcore quickly. Sam wasted no time getting in his offense on Atticus. This included a tope attempt. Sam was bleeding profusely. He got a barbed wire door stomped onto his back. I wrote here, this was a highly emotional match that both leaned into very well. Nice and quick and easy. Our winner here, and still the GCW World Champion, Atticus Cogar. We knew Sam was a bleeder.
Yep, a little bit of a callback too. We got the duct tape used here. Kind of shades of last year when it was Fuego tied to the ropes, and they had him restrained, and they were taking liberties with Sam here. Now it was finally time for Sam to get his lickings back. Also, the steel chair. Remember during the KJ feud, there was a big sidebar about whether or not Sam could really strike another man in the face with a chair. Atticus tried to lean into the same thing, but he eventually got the chair to the face too.
Let me look here real quick. Sorry. I was checking a message. I thought I got a message, so I was like, oh, let me see what's going on.
Yes, Ishmael points out no interference. Atticus seems to be fine on his own. He doesn't need the other Vandals to do his dirty work. It's something I love to see, because one of the concerns I had when Vandal 48 first turned up is this a redux of 440? This is one way to definitely avoid that.
Now, was there anything else you wanted to talk about in regards to the Nile in Phoenix or this Holy Smoke show?
Definitely an interesting venue, if nothing else. Like, it kind of threw me at first. I was hanging out by what you would think is the front of the venue, but that's actually the transition from the venue to the locker room. So I kind of didn't realize I was kind of by the locker room waiting for the show to start, when I should have actually been at the back alleyway, which is where the fans actually come in. So kind of a nice thing to note if you ever go to the Nile.
Have you ever seen the little coffee shop they have in the front there?
Yeah, I was kind of hanging out by that coffee shop, since that's where I thought the entrance to the Nile would be.
Yeah, between looking at the brick on both sides and then the lights in between, I feel like I'm at a street party. You know what I mean? It feels like if they just had stars on the ceiling, that would just, it just feels like an open night party kind of thing. But I love how the sound just reverberates through the room.
Yeah, it's definitely a great venue acoustically. So definitely would love to hear it. I think that's part of the reason why the fans in Arizona are considered some of the loudest crowds that GCW regularly runs, because it's a venue set up for it.
Yeah, when I went there, I said these guys are they're such good fans and they're so thankful. And yeah, big. It's a good looking.
And it looks great on camera too, with those lights from the ceiling. Put the camera in the right place, and it looks like a plus venue. That you wouldn't think it's 100 years old.
I can't get out of my mind. I think it was Rina Yamashita that kicked those fucking lights on that one show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, so that wraps up that show. I'm just going to look at some small weekend highlights. B is not here, so we'll probably keep the watch along for next week. No big deal there. Sorry, guys. My computer won't run it. Bran is the one that has the computer that can run these things without it giving like weird. It's not good.
We could have probably tested to see if my thing could have ran if we had time before the show, but yeah, maybe another time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know mine isn't that great. Mine's just hanging on. Like I have a mouse and it's getting tired. And yeah, only so much electricity goes through the old machine here. Okay, so this weekend's highlights, I'll just go over them quickly. KJ beating the current 2-time NJPW TV champion. Seeing the amount of strength used between Manders and Hammerstone at the LA match. The Effy and Friends saga continuing. We have Funstruction killing it all weekend. The rare CPA appearance on the West Coast. Otis Cogar's first UV title defense. The possibility of an emerging hardcore team between Ciclope and Vipress. And then finally, Vengador and Horus reminding us why they are some of the best independent talent coming out of Mexico. I think that kind of covers most of the highlights there.
Yep, I would say that's a fair, few sentences.
Yeah, all right, then. So I will go through our little upcoming show here. Again, our next show next week, it'll be on February 24th. We'll be back on Tuesdays again, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Effy will be with us. I will, of course, be throwing out all kinds of reminders. So if you wanted to come in here and ask some questions, or if you want to send some questions, I'll make sure to have a little post available so we can talk with Effy about them. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to mention, Screwball, before we got out of here for the night?
Yes, I do have something to plug. This Saturday, if you're in the Vegas area, come to a venue called Beer Zombies. One of my very good promotion, World's Greatest Wrestling, is running that show, and I hear that they have a interesting commentary team. One of them will be a person you may have seen with Sam Stackhouse in Vegas recently, the world's most professional commentator, Dino Marks. And rumor has it there might be a certain Screwball that's his commentary partner for that show. So if you want to support some good wrestling and maybe support someone on this show, Beer Zombies, Saturday the 21st, 7 p.m. You want to be there.
Man, I'm going to say it here. I've said it, privately and publicly, dude. I'm so very proud of you. It is so cool that you get to use your knowledge out there in the wrestling world. I think the way you should be listened to.
Yep, it's been told that multiple times, so we're really going to put it to the test this Saturday.
You got this, bud. You're going to do fantastic. You've had so many hours now of practice on things like this with us and whatnot too, that you'll be good. All right, then I'll go ahead and do my little thing. We will get the heck out of here. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you haven't already. I mean it, man. If you guys can, please. Thanks again for those who have donated tonight. Once again, Carnival of Chaos, we highly appreciate you for doing such. Thank you. You can find Screwball at Screwball SQ on Twitter. You can find me at GC World Podcast. Is there anywhere else we can find you, Screwball?
Also being a bit more active on Instagram. You'll see more of the Vegas twinge on my fandom there, whereas Twitter tends to be the more GCW-centric version of me. So, but either way, both Instagram and Twitter are great places to find me.
I also want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Again, this was a Wednesday night, so everybody's a little thrown off, but I'm happy to look and see that so many people here are still tuning in with us.
Oh yeah, and also if you could highlight Casa there, Poder is coming up here.
Yes,
I think that is going to be an awesome show to kick off Mania weekend. So definitely want to support it, and Casa's interviews with all those great talents.
Also, it says so we have 2 Tuesdays of no GCW W. We have Effy coming up on we always do our Tuesday shows, so that is always going to happen.
Yeah, it's very rare that we miss a Tuesday. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's been, we're rolling in 3.5 years now. It takes a lot for us to miss.
And I'm sure if we don't have a lot of Effy next weekend, there'll be more watch-alongs.
Oh yeah. Oh, we will fill it up, guys. One way or another, we're gonna have a good ass time. I miss my partner B tonight, so we're gonna make sure when we get him back next Tuesday, we'll get back into the grind here. All right. So as always, I want to say thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us tonight. We will be seeing you next week for that interview with Effy. What a night. All right. So you think we're ready to send him out like we always do, Screwball?
Yep. I think it's time for the Beal.
All right. Long live G C
dub.
Oh, we are not that. Okay. Good night, y'all.
Hey, I'm not used to doing this part. I'm only here every once in a while.
Have a great one, guys. We love you.